Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dying times here.
Is Tom back from getting his pizza rolls?
No, I didn't even go yet.
He didn't go yet?
And it's not pizza rolls. It's a full-fledged Papa Murphy pizza. I'm like,
Sounds like
I'm in the
he's
big
doing
leagues
the
for
Odin
rolls.
thing then. So, yeah.
Here's the thing. I still didn't see the Magic Mike dancers come out when the timer was going down. So
I hate you, Culture Casino.
you seem like you're like disappointed.
I was terribly.
Shut up and sit down, you big bald fuck.
Oh, this is
That
gonna
wasn't
be
directed at you, Tom. That was the culture.
we're gonna be a weird night. It's gonna be a weird night. Welcome everyone.
It's gonna be a weird night, guys. Weird night. Weird.
We're gonna
night.
get weird. We're gonna get weird.
Where do you get weird?
Get weird, man. It's weird.
Speaking of weird, I released a video today. That's weird.
It was awesome. I freaking enjoyed it. You went back to
Dude.
being this guy with the A, and you got to finish up like here.
Yeah, I went back to that. It's a lot more fun, I think, especially when I talk about stupid topics like that.
It sounded amazing. I had dude, I enjoyed that so much. It was like, oh, that's freaking old school comics today.
It is old school, man. I've been doing that for a while. You haven't been paying attention.
No, because I hang out with you on live streams.
I know.
You sound like, I'm a 40s news guy, and here you go. These are my thoughts. Or it's like a mix between like the 40s news guy and Casey Kasem. I don't know what's happening, but it's
it's kind of
Something smells burning.
something
Right,
smells
you better go
burning.
eat
It's
your
probably
pizza,
Tom's
Tom.
pizza rolls. Yeah. Yeah. So I kind of went back to using the character on certain things, not everything, but especially when I talk about the comic book industry and just stupid things where I really want to mock it, and I want to mock it more so the way I used to mock things, which I thought was a lot more fun.
Yeah, you did it.
So
it was beautiful. Plus, having the good voice guy.
Yeah.
The reading was amazing. So
Yeah, he's great.
It was good.
Wow,
It was a good video. I was happy you did it. I was like, I watched the whole thing. I was like, he needs to do more now. Like,
Well, yeah. Part of that is making sure to get stuff queued up.
yeah.
So yeah. It's finding stuff, sending it over to Sir Talks-A-Lot, and then unfortunately I've been sitting on this shit for like 4 weeks at this point, and I was like, God damn it! It's like I need to do it, because if I don't, then I'm not gonna be able to ask him to do more stuff for me. So it's like, okay, let me shove this one out the door.
Mhm.
I was motivated.
It was great, and I think it conveyed your point rather well.
I thought so too. I think I used a lot less profanity like I normally do with my older my older videos. I don't know if I said fuck it all.
No, I
You
don't think
didn't
you did.
cuss that much at all. If you did,
Yeah,
So-
it wasn't noticeable. Of course, I
Great
do cuss a
video.
lot. So
Well, what the really funny thing is you can't see the expressions I'm making, like when I record those things, because I start getting like this.
you went a little bit Joe Pesci in the video though too. So
Well, yeah. There's times where it's like I do the pretend like I'm losing my mind. I start getting this really big smile and talking like this. Yeah, so you guys can't see how stupid I actually look when I'm recording this.
dude, see, and that's the kind of crap that I want to share with my members is like just how much stupid I am when I'm recording a video.
Yeah.
Because it comes off polished and stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm really dumb.
There's times where I thought about like doing a stream where I record one of my videos, so you guys get like a peek behind the curtain and just see how like fucking stupid I am.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm trying to read things or trying to convey a point, and I'll get tongue tied and I'll start like fucking stuff up. The thing that really sucks, I hate about recording stuff is sometimes I'll vapor lock on something and I'll fuck up on the same word. And I have to stop and change what I'm saying, because if I don't, I'll keep fucking up on that word. It's weird, man.
mm-hmm.
It's weird. But it was fun. I had a lot of fun last night. Unfortunately, I was up really late and I got up really early. That was not fun.
Rough.
I'm not surprised. Actually, I didn't feel as rough today as I figured I would have. So,
Well, I just came from having a few-hour power outage.
No, dude.
Because our power was out for a little over 2 hours. I had to cancel my other broadcast because it was just we had a major T-storm come through and it just zapped out the power. So I'm like, well, looks like I'm not streaming.
That sucks, dude. I was concerned yesterday because in Texas we've been having a lot of rain, and we lost power for like probably about an hour and a half yesterday. And yesterday, no, sorry, Tuesday. This is Tuesday, not yesterday. Because but anyway, Tuesday, and that was like Tuesday's usually the day I record my videos for Unsafe Space, which I completely forgot went live today, and I missed it. Damn it.
Yeah, I was concerned. I was keeping my fingers crossed that we weren't going to get flooded out down here, especially where all my equipment is, because we had like it was coming down like in buckets, man. Torrential rain we had with that storm. It was nuts. And then they took their good old time. Power company always takes its good old time. So it's like. I think it was probably about 18 minutes ago they finally turned the power back on or fixed the issue, whatever it was. So, yeah.
One summer we had to power out for 16 hours and it was 120 out.
Well, yeah, that would suck.
In Phoenix, yeah. So
that would suck. But
holy hell! What year was this?
This was like maybe 5 years ago. I think it was. It was the whole trailer park where we were at got destroyed. It turned down the trees, everything else.
I love what Master Sidearm said. Did you try turning the storm off and then on again? Yeah, actually, we did, and it just got worse.
Yeah, I wish I could do that. Like, hey, God, can you power cycle that storm, please?
Yep. All right, I got some super chats real quick because I got some fun I got to read. So, Stone Cold Jeremy for 3 American pesos with the rock and roll or the devil horns, depending on your perspective.
Rock and roll.
And I love the comment that Primarch Vulcan said for $1.99. Come for the dick jokes, stay for the stupid.
That's right. Hashtag Dexidoodle.
We got plenty of that, let me tell you.
Yep.
Thanks.
So how you got? I don't want to ask you how you're doing, Culture. I know how you're doing. Sorry, man.
We're good. We're okay.
Jed, what you been up to, man? How you doing?
Jed?
What? Oh yeah.
Not burned. Just crud in the bottom of the oven.
Did you burn your hands? Did you run?
Tom's out of breath because he was running after his pizza rolls.
Pizza
that's expensive shit.
He sounds like the kid off of what was it? The kid off of Malcolm in the Middle. I got my pizza rolls.
The funny thing is, I had pizza tonight too. It was pizza slut.
I actually,
London.
I actually, for once, my background isn't just a bare wall anymore. I actually have a Ori hanging behind me. So,
well, the funny thing is, because I was telling everybody beforehand, I wasn't sure if we're going to stream tonight because we're having our floors redone upstairs this time. And we had carpet put in our office, my office, my wife's office. We had that done last year, and now we're going to go and redo. Because I did some laminate, I'm not happy with it. We're going to redo it. We're going to have something that kind of matches what we have downstairs. So we had to move everything out of our media room, and in the media room closet is where I keep my guns, and I had to take everything out, move the cabinet, put everything back in. So it's nice. Man. I actually have my gun cabinet right in front of me.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. He's ready. Like, let's go.
Well, it's funny. I never, based on the events of this past week, and I'm not sure how much we're going to get into it tonight, but man,
probably not a whole lot on that.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. Are you ready for people knocking on your door?
Oh, yeah, they can go piss off on that. Like, so.
Well, that and apparently the Capitol Police will be in every state here to save us. So
No,
Oh.
they won't.
Yeah,
Joy.
finger
Oh
quotations.
shit!
in
Yeah,
the air
Dalton.
to
Sorry,
save
dude.
us.
I forgot to send you the invite, man.
yeah.
Usually when Dalton sends me something, I invite him, and I forgot to do that tonight.
He sent a lot of stuff today. Dalton's awesome, man. I owe him a stream, and I am the biggest asshole.
You owe everybody a stream and a phone call and going out to dinner. Fuck with you, dude. He's like, I'm
hey,
out of here.
You don't bring me
Culture,
flowers
you wanna come
anymore.
over?
Yeah.
That's my
Culture
joke.
alls all of us flowers. So
You don't sing love songs
anymore.
And claimed.
You don't bring me flowers.
Oh, Terminus that says he wished that Nick Weiser was here because he has new flavors for him tonight. Yeah, I know, man. He's got his own stream going on. So
Yeah,
our little boy's growing up.
He's
I mean, he typically has his
counter-programming,
Thursday night stream anyway. So.
but he's counter programming the Dix division. You'd think he'd just move it.
Nah, it's fine.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. Apparently,
Traitor.
he got his Dix Division shirt, which he's like, yeah, this is pretty cool. It's like, dude, that looks too dark in the face. Let me see if I can pull it up for you guys. I'll show you what it looks like. I'm not too happy with the way it turned out, but
it looks good on the website. What happened?
yeah, it looks great on the website.
Everything I wear looks like shit on me.
No, except for who?
Baby,
The
I look
sticker
good
looks
on you.
great, but I'm not too happy about the other thing. Hey, Dalton, sorry about that, man.
What's up, Dalton?
No
Hey,
problem.
Dalton.
I send you people stupid things, and all I ask is to be included.
He's
and-
lying. He's like the whole time. He's like, I really, really hope Dalton doesn't show up tonight in the chat because I don't
Fuck
want to
that
let
guy.
him. Fuck that guy. I don't want to let him in. I don't want to let him in.
It
So,
wouldn't surprise me,
I'm kidding,
Tom.
of
It
This is
wouldn't
what
surprise
the
me at all.
t-shirt looks like, and I'm not too happy about that. That looks too dark.
weird.
Yeah. Let's see if I can make it look a little bigger. Come on.
Oh, really?
No.
Seriously?
That looks like somebody like Antifa mudded your face.
Yeah, it does,
Yeah,
man.
It does.
So I gotta go and talk to Teespring about this.
That
The
looks
sticker
like
looks
somebody
great
like
though, but the that doesn't look good,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
What happened?
I don't know.
That's what I'm.
What's
Teespring
wrong with your
happened.
face?
It looks
Yeah,
like somebody
Tinder's
shit on my
beautiful.
face.
Not whoa, gross.
Yeah.
Gross.
I don't know. The
even look
coloring
at your
just doesn't look right.
hands. Your hands even look off too.
Yeah. Like I said, everything else looks fine. Like the stickers and the mug. I mean, talk to Manflu sent me the mug, and the mug looks great, but not the t-shirt. So, guys, if you're not happy with the t-shirt, just ping me on Twitter or send me an email. I'll get that shit sorted out. Okay, LDG says he can help me out with that. Okay, I'll ping you, dude. We'll talk. But yeah, I'm not happy with that. I think that looks awful. I think the sticker looks great. It's how it's supposed to look.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They didn't get a good. You know what? That just looks like a bad like a bad transfer to me.
yeah, it does look like a bad transfer. So anyway, yeah,
What you're looking for is anyway.
yeah. What's up, Dalton? How you doing?
It was kind of a rough night because I had a bout of insomnia again, but oh well.
Oh,
Welcome to the club, brother. I have that every.
It was my own stupid fault because I didn't end up going to bed until 6 in the morning. But
He's
that was
wearing a
fun.
Dalton Derby.
Yeah. So, and then I try to find people to stream with in the middle of the night because I can't sleep. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's times where I'm like that too.
Yeah.
It's just like can't sleep. Plans will eat me.
Mhm.
Anyway,
That's a Simpsons reference.
what's that?
That's a Simpsons reference.
Mm-hmm.
I just remember there actually being a T-shirt at Hot Topic that said that.
Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Oh wait, that's different.
The mecca of goths, hipsters, and other assorted ne'er-do-wells.
Why are you singing the Hot Pocket theme to Hot Topic?
I don't know what happened. It was a weird thing. Just
I don't like you no more, Culture.
You're lying. You love me.
I'm leaving.
You love me long time.
This is what happens
on
when
a
you go to
divorce.
Bleeding Cool's website and you have all the ad block going on. And yeah, it's pretty funny.
Hot Pockets.
Yo,
Hot topic. Anyway,
Stop it.
Hey, Fizchozo's in the house. Gosh, we got a lot of people here. Sven's here. Jeez, oh, Pete, guys. Hi, chat. We didn't say a lot to you.
Yeah, I know. Sorry, guys. How's everyone doing tonight?
Yeah, everybody looks good.
Let's go say hi to everyone real quick.
Hi, everyone.
God damn it. Let me scroll. Let me go.
Hi, chat.
Hi, chat. How's
you
it
doing?
going?
How you doing?
Okay, so we have Vizier Matt here tonight. How's it going, dude? Rebecca, the Pirate Queen. We also have Mitch Rogers. Let's see. Saladrin TJ. How's it going? Of course, we have our very own pop culture archivist. We have Fury Kitten. How's it going? Criticizable the Crazed. Stephen Long. Southern Bell 7777. Mr. Dragon. We also have the Mutant Banhammer. Hurin the Steadfast. We also have Stream Elements. That's my bot. And Thomas Gilkey. What's up, Thomas?
Yeah, hail Thomas Gilkey.
Hey, Thomas, what's
The
up?
Gilk Man.
Soul Assassin, Master Sidearms, Terminus S, J.A.F.O of Dick's Division. Did I say Soul Assassin? I think I did.
Yeah, you did.
Soul
Okay.
Assassin.
Keck44 is here. Dexidoodle is here as well. And again, our very own Culture Casino with a wrench.
I don't claim him.
Philip A. Dimmick is here. We also have LDG. I already said hi to you. Kind
The
of.
claiming is supposed to happen off stream, Tom. You're not supposed to spoil that stuff.
Yeah. Nikki D is also here. Eric K, our very own wrench of our community. How you doing, dude?
Yeah. I still haven't yet to gain a wrench in this stream.
Oh, are you fucking serious? I haven't wrenched you yet. God damn it! All
I
right.
know.
He probably
People's
hasn't
Front
wrenched
of
me either.
Canada is also here.
Mean Tom are sitting over in the corner trying.
Ben the Naked Nordic Ninja is here.
If he hasn't.
Hail Sven! Great
Hail
to see you, my
Sven.
friend.
Let's see. If you go and pop something in the chat real quick, I will go and wrench you real quick.
Yeah, whip it out real fast.
I just
Excuse
whipped
me
it out
while I
for you,
whip this
Culture.
out. Let's see. I just ran past. There we go. Darius Munchausen for $149 with a box of popcorn. I missed that one earlier.
Yeah. Guys, I can drop my PayPal link at any time if anybody wants to donate to the cause for me to buy a capital Lego set. I'm just kidding.
I also love this. The Nerdporial Lifeform is also here. Love that name.
I love it. We have very creative humans here. Oh, and
We do.
yeah, I see TMF.
Toxic Man Flu.
I
It's not a
did.
party.
All right, there we go.
Toxic,
I found you, Drew. You are now wrenched.
And then there I am.
Thank you, sir.
I'm throwing up the sign.
Quit throwing up in here.
Yeah.
Stop, man.
Stop throwing up.
Throwing up the whole.
Stop.
This isn't your parents' station wagon. Stop.
God damn it.
Humor Waffles is also here.
Or
Man.
cut you
Oh,
off.
your waffles.
Cut me off.
Yeah, no, I kind of
No more for you if you're gonna be puking and throwing up.
Rob
If you
Altus
start
is
puking now,
also
you'll
here.
not have any left when we start getting into bleeding cool, and that would be a mistake because that will make you want to vomit.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
Rich Johnson.
I will pull this stream over and turn around.
Well, he does.
I don't
have
want to go back.
What you do when you turn around though is entirely no longer up to you.
Apparently now, I guess since that series is discontinued, I actually kind of do want one of those Capital Lego sets.
There you go.
But
Which
Are we
one
there
got
yet?
discontinued?
the Capital Lego set.
Are
got
you serious? They
discontinued.
discontinued it?
Yeah, or it's
Why?
been discontinued for a while. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well, they
But-
retired them after a while.
But yeah, it's just I think things are pretty penny. I think it cost at the time $249. It retailed
Toys are insanely
pretty high.
collectible. And Lego in
Hang on,
particular,
guys.
so-
We got to read this. So, Crazy Cat Guy for $5. Sick with the beer bug, so I'm going to bed and not stay up. Oh, dude, I hope you feel better, man.
Yeah, feel better,
Yeah.
Crazy Cat.
Yeah,
Better,
dude.
brother.
Take care, man.
Yeah.
I've got coffee and ammo, buddy. I'm good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just popping in to drop this off, get some coffee and 2 or 3 rounds of ammo.
Yeah.
You'll feel
Great.
better, dude. Take your health very serious and have.
If you need to go to the hospital, go. If you absolutely have to. So.
Yeah.
Good job, Jed. You made everybody sick now.
Yeah.
Instructions unclear. Fired coffee rounds out of my gun.
Are we there yet?
Southern Belle says, "Let go of my Lego."
What's it with you motherfuckers and screwing up these damn? I'm gonna kill you.
I can't. It's in my foot.
Yeah. Well, Southern Belle. I think that's what I'm going to do when the vac squad comes knocking on the door. I'm going to put Legos on the welcome mat. For them to
Just not
step
going to
up.
answer the door.
Well, I mean, it worked for Kevin McAllister, so why not?
Yeah, it's so weird, man. So fucking weird.
Well, this is the new America, man.
I guess so. All right. So we have this lovely article. DC puts a capital insurrectionist in Suicide Squad. Why?
Because they saw the Captain America eviscerates the American Dream concept comic, and they went, "Hold my beer." That's why.
Yeah.
You know what would be really edgy? Something completely unexpected. Because we'll get into this article to talk about. Well, yeah, that too. But if they actually had somebody who was an Antifa member.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, comics, that you mentioned this because there's a similar thing. I know somebody pointed out they showed a screen cap of the new Purge movie, and apparently they had to throw in a character like the typical white supremacist archetype to prove that there's a white supremacist out there. Guy has a big swath on his face.
Oh, are you talking about the Purge Forever or whatever the fuck that thing's called?
Yeah,
Forever
Purge. Yeah.
And it's just Jesus. Oh my God, they really want to go all in on this stuff. Like God, the quote insurrection, and it's definitely heavily in air quotes there. It gave them the fuel to do so.
Because if there's no evil Tradcon patriarchy out there somewhere plotting to take control of the world back, then they have no purpose in this life. That's exactly why they do what they do. Because they genuinely believe in their heart of hearts, against all evidence, that they are still the poor put upon rebels, and those big nasty Tradcons are still going to come back somewhere from their cave of evil from the center of the earth or some shit and take over all of civilization because we let freedom of expression exist for 2 seconds.
Yeah. All right. Stone Cold Jeremy. Sorry, dude. I totally missed your super chat. Super chat. There we go. The super cat. I totally missed your super chat. Thanks for pointing that out, and I found it. Okay. Stone Cold Jeremy for 5 American pesos. The other night, I dreamt I was swimming in an ocean of orange soda. Now that I think about it, was more of a fantasy.
Well played, sir.
Yes.
I would slow clap for you, but I'm holding my phone.
Indeed.
That's great.
Okay, Suicide Squad, Get Joker by Brian Asholio, Alex Malieve, and Matt Hollingsworth. Is a 3-part series starting in August and being released alongside the Suicide Squad movie, directed by James Gunn. I thought they're going to put this in the fucking movie. I was like, okay, I'm fucking out.
No, are we sure that first guy's name is what it is? Because I'm almost certain that's something out of Beavis and Butthead or something.
Azzarello. I fucking said Asholio, but
yeah.
Okay,
that was out of Beavis and Butthead.
No, that would be Stuart.
Stuart.
Yes, do it.
Brian Asholio has a reputation for taking superhero comics and pushing all sorts of buttons. You know what, dude? If you really want to push some buttons, put an Antifa guy in there. That'll push some fucking buttons.
Yeah,
especially in your own fucking industry.
In the immortal words of Voltaire, if you want to know who rules over you, figure out who you can't criticize. Now, please note that you are capable of criticizing white supremacists and nationalists all the live long day, but you so much as wince in the direction of criticizing the actual established order, and you are dead to the world, essentially.
Washington or other places.
Godzillionaire.
Yeah. Godzillionaire for $2. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try to get the voice right. I am Azraelio. Are you threatening me? No, fuck that.
This is pretty decent.
Are you threatening me?
Are you
I haven't watched that show since I was like 4.
Shut up, Beavis.
Don't remember it.
I can do Butthead a lot better than I can Beavis.
like, shut up.
Like, shut up, Beavis.
Yeah, you do him better.
Yeah, I do.
Real talk, though, Daria was better.
No. Not hard.
From the infamous Batman Batgirl rooftop scene, the animated version of Killing Joke or Batman Damned. Oh, that was the one with the bat dick. Okay. Yeah.
Dick?
In all of its glory, I didn't fucking care about that. I didn't find that, edgy. Okay, the Batman rooftop scene was awkward. I can't say it really pushed any buttons for me. The bat dick scene, I was like, okay, whatever. It's not like I haven't seen a mushroom before in my life. He took on Rorschach in Before Watchmen, as well as co-creating 100 Bullets from Vertigo. I've never heard of it. I have no idea what it's about, and I honestly don't care. And Moonshine from Marvel Comics. And he now has some new buttons to push by putting somebody in from the Insurrection. Are you
So in other
shaking in your
words,
boots?
you can't tell a decent story without being edgy and quote unquote controversial. Great.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we need in our creative writing.
Oh, but they put it in the fucking panel? Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Are you kidding me?
What?
Yeah.
Multiple of them.
I took a shit on the speakers in the house desk. Oh my god. This isn't like it's lame,
Not even a one-off
dude.
gag.
It's fucking lame is what it
references.
is. My god, this isn't pushing buttons. This is just sad.
It's the worst for me, I think, because comics, when I was there that day and fucking being in the middle of it, it was just, and obviously I missed the breach again by 17 minutes, let's be clear, because I was headed back to the metro at the time. But just being there in the crowd, being down at the gathering, being on Constitution Avenue, marching with the people, all right? It was not anything close to what the media portrayed it. If anything, this was a coordinated operation.
Well, just like with anything, man, they always show the worst of it, right? And frame it that way. They'll never show, the majority of the peaceful protest. They'll just focus on the violent aspects of it.
And
right?
meanwhile, what do they accuse us of doing every single time there's a several-month-long screed of burning buildings down?
Yeah.
Exactly that.
Yeah. And here's the thing. It's like even during the BLM shit, I know there was plenty of peaceful protests, and, that needs to be highlighted, but we also have to highlight the bad.
Yeah.
But it's like fucking January 6th was one day.
Yeah.
It's
that
like,
only lasted a couple hours.
Yeah. And
it's almost
J.A.F.
like
lasted almost a month.
They needed an event. They needed an event to paint everybody into one box as being terrible.
Yeah. Oh, here's the thing. I mean, for the most part, you've had protests going on nationwide and this is probably a slight exaggeration, pretty much every weekend.
Yeah,
last year
it was.
during the summer.
Yeah, it was
So.
it was weeks and
Darn
weeks and
near.
months and months, and yeah, and then they didn't say anything about that, but this is worse than burning down every businesses and beating people to death in the streets and
Because when those people did it, they did it for the right reasons and the correct moral framework. Therefore, they can do no wrong. But when these people do it, they do it for the wrong reasons, and we've already concluded what the right and wrong reasons are.
BLM doesn't get COVID.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
No, you're right.
right.
You're right, Tom. You're right. When you're right, you're right. Consult your doctor.
I am not a physician.
Yeah, we are not physicians. Consult your doctor. Talk to them about the COVIDs and what you should do.
Dr. Tom.
And talk to your doctor about your erectile dysfunction as well.
Well,
if you have it.
Antifa is also immune.
Yeah.
So I'm told, but I'm not a physician.
That's the reason why they all went out the day after somebody got elected, and they were all dancing in the street, all hugging and kissing one another, and everything else. And then the next day, they're like, "Hey, everybody, stay in your houses." And I was just like, facepalm. Like,
yeah.
And also, they weren't hugging and kissing each other. They were attacking the Capitol in Portland because Biden won, and none of them were Biden supporters.
So,
all right. Cast members include Red Hood, Harley Quinn, Firefly, Silver Banshee, and a number of new characters.
Who?
And one, yeah, exactly. And one very familiar figure who it seems was part of the January 6th insurrection on the Capitol building in Washington, D.C., and seems to have made his mark by taking a dump on Nancy Pelosi's desk. Wait, you were part of the insurrection?
Insurrection. Hallelujah.
Oh, by the way, look at this artwork. This art looks like shit.
wait, isn't Silver Banshee part of like Mystical and shit? If I remember from the Superman comics in the 90s, how did she get took then?
I have no idea.
Because
That's ridiculous.
because no one who was writing the comic actually gave a shit about those characters, so they just threw a bunch of random background characters in there for filler and made it the Harley Quinn show yet again.
Yeah. Seriously, folks, look at this artwork here. It is dreadfully terrible.
Yeah, it is.
It is. I mean, compared to what we used to get out of comic books, yeah, this is bad.
Yeah, because aesthetic meritocracy is a harmful delusion that we need to get rid of, and we need to act like we're your parents and take away all your toys, because otherwise you won't grow up for those reasons.
But this is classic comics, Dalton. This takes us back to the 60s and 70s when it was, these kinds of lines.
Except I have several of those in trade form, and they look better than this.
They probably do,
Like, I can go and get you the DC Golden Age Archive edition of Dr. Fate right now. It's better than this. Every single panel.
I dare you. I double dog dare you.
Do it. This is very.
Do it now.
I swear to God, I've done it.
No, dude. Honestly, dude, I want you to do. I want you to show people what good artwork looks like compared to what we're getting now.
This is like
in 1 second.
Yeah, this is like extremely marginal art, but it's just again garbage, and they're sitting there and mocking. One of the things that you don't do, or that at least my understanding and principles of when I was growing up, in the way that the audience was treated, you did not mock your audience, and definitely not a good portion of your audience. And this panel that we see right here, where he's explaining it, I mean, they have that in there, in that line. Those lines of dialogue are directly to mock conservative readers.
Yeah. And here's one thing. Okay, I think it's fine if you want to criticize something, but you got to be fair about it, right? But yeah, here's the thing. I think the majority probably know my stance on the insurrection and what happened with the Capitol. I by no means am a Republican. I am by no means conservative. I find this absolutely distasteful.
I
It
think
is.
the whole thing sucks.
100%.
The Insurrection is just insanely horrible. Star Trek Insurrection is probably the worst one ever.
Yeah, you're right. That is definitely the worst kind of insurrection in
Oh
Star Trek.
God!
Yeah.
I actually think that is one of the weakest of them all.
Tom,
I'm kidding. I
you were
actually
not
kind of
wrong.
like that one.
No,
I'm like 4 for 4 tonight. God damn, I'm on fire.
you're doing good, man. You're doing good. Okay, all right. So I'm gonna solo Dalton here.
Ahem. Observe. This is a random page out of this book here, which is the DC Golden Age Archive editions for Dr. Fate. Cost me actually I think this one was a Christmas gift, but it would have cost me like $27. Every single page in here, which this run started in 1940, mind you. Sorry, the angles are going to get weird because I'm doing this on my phone, so apologies for that.
We're getting Dalton's up the nose cam. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, you can just leave it. You can leave it on the ground mount and just put the book over it, maybe.
You're a film brother, just like me, Dalton. So no.
I will.
I don't want you to like mess up your pages either. So
do that. But if you can see here, I know the lighting's not the best, but every single page of this book, I swear to God, mind you that this was made in 1940,
that's a lot better.
Books being reprinted here were made in 1940, all better than modern comics, almost to a fault. And now I've ruined the dust cover and I've got to do that. But that is fine.
alrighty. All right. Terminus has wanted me to get to a super chat. So Terminus asked for $5. I took a shit on the House Speaker's desk. What did Brian Asholio pull that idea out of his bungholio? Have some TP for that.
I am Cornholio.
Oh, Terminus, dude, you're the best, man.
I think that he probably combined the break into her office with the Amber Heard event.
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Godzillionaire for $2. DC has replaced Red Hood with a White Hood. Wow.
I find it funny they used Wild Dog out of all the characters too.
Yep. All right. Toxic Man Flu of Dix Division. 5 American pesos. It is bad that I got notifications for a new video from Comics Division today, and my first thought was his account got hacked. Thanks, Tox. That's great. All right. And not just a random new character by some who have long histories at DC Comics and is seen as quite a political figure, Wild Dog or Jack Wheeler. Okay. You asked me how I got arrested. Well, I was... Jesus Christ. It was by leading the charge, buddy. Garbage that's been happening in this country. It's fucking lawless, and all the while we're being regulated how to think.
Okay, but where's the lie there? Like you're
I know.
You're putting this in the mouth of a villain, and he's supposed to be
I was thinking the exact
obliviously
same
bragging
thing.
about something bad he did. But where's the freaking lie?
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is what they're trying to do. Is they're trying to say people that are for free speech and for free thought are bad people. That's what they're trying to do with this type of shit. It is conditioning. Because you're like, why am I relating to the villain? Because they're trying to villainize these concepts and these ideas.
Yeah, because in their minds, if you're not in favor of our framework, if you want freedom from our framework, we've objectively determined somehow that our framework is the only correct framework. Therefore, if you want to be free from it, you must want to be evil. It's the same old shit of, well, if you have nothing to fear, you have nothing to hide. We should be allowed to surveil you at all times.
Okay, well, then leave your windows open so everyone can see inside your house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good one. from Twitless. Anyone remember when Red Skull quoted Jordan Peterson? Yeah, I remember that when they were trying to villainize Jordan Peterson.
Or when Captain America said the American dream was a lie.
Yeah.
And with entitlement.
All I have to say
holy shit, did he actually say it was entitlement?
Yeah, the first part of the quote was, there are two. I'm starting to think there are two American dreams. The first one is the one a lot of people seem to feel entitled to, and they get mad when they don't get it. So, yeah.
I'll have to say, go fuck yourself, Ta-Nehisi Coates. You are a piece of shit.
That one I don't think was Ta-Nehisi Coates. That was some new guy they have writing the multiple Captain America storyline where like all these ultimate.
I thought that was
people.
Coates, but okay.
I'm almost positive it's not Coates because I remember doing a live read of it with Anglantine on his channel, and I don't think the writer was Coates. As gratifying as it is to blame Ta-Nehisi Coates for every conceivable thing, in this case, I don't think it was his fault.
Yeah, it's like three different writers apparently. Mm-hmm. God damn. Yeah, Marvel Comics.
Yeah, and then DC saw it and was like, "Let's do this to compete with Marvel on their own footing."
It's okay. Coates has done enough to be, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You're not wrong.
Ta-Nehisi Coates is cancer. I'm not saying he's not cancer, but let's not blame him for things he didn't actually do. His rap sheet is plenty long enough with just the legitimately accurate things he did.
I think I got to quote Boomerang. His rap sheet's longer than my dick.
Well, I mean, it's longer than a lot of people's, I would imagine.
Yeah, well, the actual quotes are her rap sheet's longer than my dick, but anyway. Fred Sacco for $5. To be fair, Wild Dog probably does incite an erection with many progressives. Yeah,
probably.
Wow.
Yeah, like I said, folks, the whole thing is that he's not speaking crazy. He's basically speaking what probably a lot of Americans think with what's been going on last year.
Yeah. The problem is the people writing it think that is inherently absurd.
Yeah.
They don't see anything wrong with directly quoting you because they think what you are already saying without strawmanning is insane. It's like when we talk about meritocracy and they laugh at us and repeat meritocracy back at us, like we just mentioned.
Meritocracy is problematic, Dalton. I got told that by my diversity inclusion training.
Yeah, meritocracy is either a harmful delusion that we need to get rid of, or a childish delusion we need to mock in these people's minds.
Yep. Okay, so Wild Dog or Jack Wheeler, who first appeared in 1987, published by DC Comics, was created by Max Allan Collins and Terry Beattie. Indeed, Wild Dog was not only a part of the insurrection, he led it. Probably wearing horns. Oh my God. The comic book isn't clear. Wild Dog uses all sorts of familiar talking points, painting himself as a victim and mocked when he claims that he was oppressed.
He never claimed any such thing. What he said was that we're being regulated as to how to think.
Yeah,
which is true.
But we haven't read this other panel yet, Dalton. He might say it here.
It's depressing because Wild Dog was a really good superhero.
It just to me, you know, this goes along with their delusional mentality. I had to laugh the other day because you know, there's a bunch of journalists on Twitter having a circle jerk about the fact that you know, oh, I still have scars from that day, blah blah blah. You know, it's like people from Vice News. The Vice News was one that put out the tweets about it, and then there was some guy that replied that works for NBC. He's like, there was blood on the statue from a rioter, and now it's clean. Oh, but the scars will never heal.
Yeah, they're busy complaining about that. Meanwhile, did anyone see what Gay Men's Chorus San Francisco did recently? They wrote a song called "We Will Convert Your Children."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so guys, real quick, I want to share this real quick. So Toxic Man Flu sent me some pictures. Apparently, it's not as bad. I guess maybe it was just the. It's still a little too dark, I think, but
You got to get better light for dick pics, man.
yeah, for sure.
Oh, I mean, look. I mean, I spent a lot of money. These are 5K bulbs. You know, you just in order to get the proper light on your mushroom. I'm just saying.
Well, then it's your penis, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Indeed. All right, so I'm gonna share this real quick because I want you guys'
Who's
thoughts.
deed?
Stop it. All right, what do you think of that? That doesn't look as bad. Still looks a little too dark, but it's not as bad.
It's not terrible.
Okay, for one, you should have had it instead of "I want you for Dick's division." It should be "I want you in the Dick's division." Just so. Why didn't you consult me at first?
You don't actually.
Well, I actually consulted the "I want you for the U.S. Army."
Yeah.
That was the take on it, obviously.
Yeah. That sounds like you.
I'm the guy that came up with "Welcome to the Rebellion."
Yes,
Don't forget that.
But Tom, remember this. You know, the only time you put something in that is when you're getting tested for an STD, which it sounds like you're really familiar with.
You weren't supposed to talk about that.
Yeah,
Well,
you weren't supposed
You
to.
were already talking about being claimed, which is something we normally talk about after the stream, Tom. So
You weren't supposed to talk about his crabs culture.
It ain't crabs. It's fucking syphilis.
Anyway.
Which is
does that word belong to you too? I'll put it on the list. Can't say this, can't think that. What the fuck happened to freedom in this country, Kemosabe?
again, behold, where is someone please find me the
I
lie?
don't see a problem with what he said.
And
look at this artwork; it looks like shit.
I'm looking with a magnifying glass the size of Jupiter. I still cannot find the lie.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you notice they spell Oliver Queen, Oliver Quinn?
No, I missed that.
Yeah.
Well, that's Rich Johnson for you. So after the first miniseries, Wild Dog, before becoming a feature in Action Comics Weekly, Jack Wheeler would return as a supporting character in Infinite Crisis, and Cave Carson has a cybernetic eye in 2016. What does that have to do with any of this?
They're bringing up past history that hasn't. That was before he got destroyed.
Okay.
They're giving context for who the character is for people who might not know, because even Rich Johnston is aware most of his readership are illiterate jackals.
Okay.
Yeah.
Even though he described Cave Carson disdainfully as a registered Democrat, and in the 2017 DC Rebirth comic Green Arrow, a gang named the Wild Dogs is a libertarian militia inspired by some nut in the Quad Cities. Oh God. Who attacked a Native American settlement. Yeah, libertarians' non-aggression principle, you fucking morons.
Doesn't even know what he's talking about with the character.
No. Whoever did that with the character doesn't understand non-aggression principles. That most libertarians don't like violence.
No,
they don't like war.
Why they're libertarians. They believe in the principle of live and let live, i.e., leave everyone the fuck alone.
So a militia of libertarians would not go attack Native Americans. You fucking morons. Anyway.
But we've declared that they're the bad people, so they must do all the bad things.
Mm-hmm.
That's the logic.
Most Americans are somewhere in the middle. They're common sense. You know, even people that claim to be conservative, they have conservative values on some things, but mainly people operate on the premise of having common sense.
Yeah, most people,
and these people just want to paint everybody in one box and say, "Oh, they're the boogeyman. They're the terrible people."
It's because the axis that has always been important is not the left-right axis, but the libertarian versus authoritarian axis. Most people in the populace are in the lower half quadrant there, the libertarian part. Whether they're right, left, center, or somewhere in between, most people operate under the assumption of live and let live for both myself and others. But if you're a moralist, you by default are authoritarian because you believe your morality needs to conquer everything in existence, and anything it doesn't conquer is impure in some way, whether you call it sinful, problematic, or in the religion of the infidels. If you're
basically
a moralist,
a Friday night for me.
Yeah.
If you're a moralist, you want your morality to be the only option for people, because any deviation from that is in some way corrupt or impure or decadent.
Well, these people that are in the quote progressive cult, and it has turned completely into a cult, they are essentially, as you said, Dalton, they treat it like a religion, and
there's a moralistic left.
The other
thing too, I want to make sure that we all understand that having morals is not a bad thing. It's when you take it to a certain level, like with the religious
morality is not the issue. Yeah. Moralism is the issue. I will make that as possibly clear as possible. Ethics is not a problem, but moral preening whenever something you can't control or don't understand exists in the world is definitely a problem. And it is a problem whether it's the Bible-thumping evangelicals of yesteryear doing it, or it's the pink-haired, Stasi of current year doing it.
Well, I think the line was crossed, at least mainly with when it comes to the LGBTQ community, was like most people had no problems with, gay people getting married and all kind of stuff like that. And that was never the issue. But now we've reached this like turning point where crazy has taken over, and where it's like,
I want my child exposed to kinky.
There's that.
What the fuck is wrong with
then
you?
Then there's also the other side of it where it's like, oh, if I don't find a trans man attractive, or I refuse to sleep with or date one, that makes me an instant transphobe. Shit like that, or a homophobe, or any of those kind of things that are, pushed out there. And it's like, are we really getting to that point now where we're going to shame people into dating? Because isn't that kind of what got us
men having more gay sex,
right?
Yeah, and as the gay one on this stream, I hereby give everyone on this stream a pass for any controversial opinions they may have about the gay community. Done.
Yeah, well, again, by and large, and I know most of the people that are gay that I know possess common sense. They enjoy.
Right. This is not something from the community, and I think that needs to be stressed enough. Yeah.
Yeah. They enjoy living an everyday life, hanging out with their significant other, doing normal everyday things that every single other American does, and they don't worry about sitting there like thinking about, well, who can I kink shame or convert today? They're not worried about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, my biggest concerns are if, say, I go walking down the street with my with a boyfriend or husband that I hope to have someday soon. If I go walking down the street holding my boyfriend's hand or husband's hand, am I gonna get dirty looks and assaulted for it? Or if we're seeing a movie and he pulls the whole yawn to put his arm over my shoulder maneuver that we see in all the movies and every guy has done ever since the beginning of time, or at least since the beginning of movies, are we going to get like dirt, shit thrown at us and whatnot?
That's my biggest concern.
My biggest concern is can I romantically express my feelings for my partner in public without it being a huge deal? There's a huge difference between that and wearing leather or whatever happens to be the thing that floats anyone.
And I ask you then, have you ever had those kind of experiences where people have actually thrown shit at you in public?
Well, no, but I've also the only time I dated someone significantly was actually just after the COVID crisis started, and I dated him for over a year, but we didn't ever actually get to meet up in public because COVID.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that part, but
Wow.
The gay friends that I have never experienced a lot of that shit. And if anything, when they tell me about any prejudice or bigotry that they've ran into, it's generally in their own family.
Mm-hmm.
And the other side of it is a lot of this stems back to, look, first it was just illegal, period, in most places. Like if you were caught, it was like an actual against the law in some places, and that was at least kind of laxed and taken care of. And then we got to a point where, look, most people agreed there's nothing wrong with the lifestyle. If you want to live it, go for it.
Yes.
And all people wanted to be able to do was be able to marry people. And we all agreed gay people should be able to be just as miserable as us.
Pretty much.
And here's the other thing, and this is where I might be a little bit controversial. If it's acceptable to show in a movie Cinderella kissing Prince Charming, then it's just as acceptable if it's two princes kissing.
Well, and I brought this point up before as well, Dalton, and I've said, like, it's all about the context and how it's handled. Yeah. I've seen a lot of these movies lately where they try to boast all this bullshit about how diverse they are. But do you realize that we've had the first gay sex scene on screen in the last couple years here? And it was, you probably don't even remember it because it was done so well.
Brokeback Mountain?
Nope. As far as I know, I don't know how much they actually show on screen on that, because as far as my knowledge is, the first gay sex scene in a major motion picture was in Rocket Man. And most people just totally forget about it.
Yeah.
Because that is set up so well. You're so invested in the characters and not the fact that it's a gay couple. Yeah. That's the point. And most people don't care about that stuff. They don't care about the showing of affection. It's the forcing of the throat kind of thing. And if you don't find that attractive, then you're a homophobe. It's like, no, I'm sorry, I'm not into gay porn, but it's just not my thing. But I'm not going to take that away from somebody else. And what it really boils down to in the end is what people really wanted was to be able to say, look, I want to be able to marry my significant other. I want to be able to make sure that I can take care of them if I'm the breadwinner in this situation, and as far as them being able to have insurance and not having to deal with bullshit, all the other things that come along with being in a relationship with somebody when you're normally, considered a couple. That's all that anybody ever wanted, and nobody has said that that's a bad thing to my knowledge. I'm sure there's bigots and there's people out there who want to poke their religious beliefs and stuff like that into the equation, and that's fine. But even going to like the whole like Chris Pratt thing, there's people going after him because of his religion. Not once has he ever come out and said, "Fuck gay people. I think gay shit is horrible." He's never said anything like that ever.
And I doubt that he believes any such thing.
Exactly.
Because, quite frankly, it would be impractical for him to believe it in California.
Look, even we as Christians and Catholics, and I can speak to this from the Catholic perspective, we've become quite more open-minded to, gay people, because there's a lot of people that try and walk have a relationship with God in their life that do happen to be gay. And listen, I know that can be a debate, and it's obviously not something for now, but there are, by and large, a lot of accepting Christians and Catholics out there when it comes to that.
Yeah, because again, the problem has never been what ideology you follow or what position you hold on any given issue. The problem has always been, are you willing to allow other perspectives and other worldviews to exist and actualize themselves, or do you need literally every atom of the universe and every idea contained within that said universe to cater to your whims and your whims only, or the whims of your ideology? Or can you get the fuck over yourself and realize maybe you don't have all the answers about everything good in the universe all the time?
Well, there's another problem here, and that is the fact that the trans activists that have started to really come out, and I'm talking about the really radical trans activists.
Okay, hey, how about we put a pin in it real quick because I want to get the super chats and then we'll resume discussion if that's cool.
Okay.
All right. Okay, Toxic Man flew of Dick's Vision for 5 American pesos. So you're saying she has never been to jail, comics? Oh, I don't even remember what that was in reference to. All right, so it jumped on me. Let me see where I left off. Let me double check real quick. Looks like it missed one. Okay, Toxic Man flew of Dick's Vision for $2. Note I had to get the 2XL Dick shirt, ladies. Oh God. Terminus says for $2. Wang to a light bulb, getting a glow job culture.
Glow job. Nice.
Where is culture? There he is.
That's great. That is great.
That's it. Just a forlorn sigh. That's it.
What do you want me to say?
Yeah. All right. Gary Thomas for $10. Hello, all. Long-time listener. Just so you know, the same men from the San Francisco Capella group also wrote a play glamorizing the struggle snuggle of children in Afghanistan.
Yes, I heard about that as well. I'm pretty sure from the same source because I also watch podcasts of Lotus Eaters. But yeah, I heard about that.
And wow, Gary, longtime listener. Thanks, man. That's awesome.
Appreciate the support.
Yeah, definitely. Let's see here. Toxic Man flew of Dick's Vision for 5 American pesos. I'm allergic to all dicks except my own. My disability does not make me. God damn, I can't fucking talk. Okay, my disability does not make me homophobic. No, it does not.
Yeah.
God, I swear, man. Just like. I feel like subjective reality has been tossed out the fucking window.
Well, it has. And to get back to the point I was going to make was like, you've got the really radical trans activists now going after, just gay people for having a genital preference, for saying, I like my partner and that's what I enjoy. It's like because they dare to like that, they're demonizing just regular gay people.
Hell, they'll even go after bi people because the thing with most bisexual people is they may like both men and women, but they have different beauty standards for men and women because men and women are different types of people.
And they shame them for that too. Yeah,
and the fact that you can hold two different beauty standards for two different kinds of people pisses them off because it should be a one-size-fits-all, some kind of universalist subjective beauty standard instead of one rule for men and one rule for women in terms of what is attractive. Well,
and that's the other thing too. There's a reason why men and women have different standards. Okay, a lot of people say that it's a double standard. It's not. Men and women are completely different types of people, and there's a reason why there's these different standards. Mainly because we have different preferences.
Yeah,
and different natures, which I think is somewhat more important.
Yeah.
People.
That being said, there are definitely men's rights issues that definitely do need to get addressed and are not currently being addressed.
That's
just
right.
right now.
Women need a reason to have sex. Men need a reason not to.
I don't know. I don't know about that. As somebody who considers himself a men's rights advocate, I think the men are hypersexual canard is in a lot of, not saying there's no truth to it, but in general, I think a lot of that idea kind of is there to excuse when women go too far or when or when men don't want to
It's a
engage
joke.
in
Don't overthink it.
sex.
Yeah.
No, but the one thing that I always like bringing up is sexual dimorphism in the brain.
Yep.
Literally, the brains of men and women are completely different, and that's the one thing when we get into this whole thing with like non-binary and whatnot. It's
Now, granted, almost no one is entirely all male typical structures of the brain or all
of
female
course,
typical
man.
structures of the brain. There's always going to be some level of gradation between,
But actual
between your
biology
extreme
is
Chad and your
important,
extreme
though.
Stacey. There's a spectrum, but those structures still exist.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things that actual biology exists in the fact that if you're, a trans woman, you're biologically male, and therefore you're going to have, certain things that you may be more susceptible than somebody that is, biologically female, and vice versa. I mean, there are the fact that we are.
Are you saying I might be a
biology,
woman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
it's just my concern is at least like as an observer of all this, they're ruining to a large degree the greater community they claim to want to be a part of, because they are going to turn gay people into a target.
Well, it's because they don't. It's because they don't actually care about individual gay people as examples of being gay. They care about their ideological hive mind of what they consider gayness to be, which is why when a gay person goes off script, they vilify the people they claim to speak on the behalf of even worse than they do the straight white men. Because here's the thing, guys. And I've said this before, and I will say it again because I think it's a point worth making. These people are fortunate enough to be able to live in a world entirely shaped and comprised of ideas. Mm-hmm. Therefore, when a gay person says, actually, I don't think the LGBT community or Pride Month or what have you is a particularly good idea or particularly constructive, they consider that one of the good people falling from grace. Mm-hmm. Whereas when a straight white man does something bad, they don't take obsession to that on a grand scale, because that is how they think the world should work. They think that white straight men should be bad. Therefore, when a white straight man does something bad, that's just the world functioning as they would prefer it function. But when a person they've denoted as one of the good people goes off road or leaves the plantation, that's a massive moral failing. That's a massive moral loss.
And it's problematic.
Dalton, I love you, man, but you just said the worst phrase possible right there. Going off the plantation. That is very, very bad. I thought
it's also very, very
off
accurate.
The reservation.
Well, I could have said when they leave the Borg Collective, but that would have been a little bit too obscure for I think some people.
I'm just saying that right now you triggered like 500,000 people that aren't watching us. I'm just saying.
Well, so be it. My name tag down there says the Authenticator. I have to say things that I believe are rationally consistent and valuable. That is my job. So yeah.
Okay, so 16-bit mascot says, admire you guys for tackling this issue on this platform. Cheers. Also, Dixivision for the win. Hey, I make my rounds. Glad you're alive.
I like
Thank
cheers.
Yeah. Yeah, go figure. I don't think we're saying anything overly controversial, but apparently, the world is insane.
Yeah, I mean, we just kind of tell it how it is, because
it is the end of the world as we know it.
Well, I mean, God, just getting into the larger picture. This type of militant activism in general, weaponized activism is what I like to call it, and it is gone specifically targeting these communities. It's targeted the LGBT. It's targeted
minorities. It's targeted every possible thing it can. It's targeted religion. It is just again trying to keep people divided and sow division.
Mm-hmm.
And it's it's insidious.
Well, the thing that to me, which boggles my mind, is the left has literally become science deniers by saying that there's no such thing as biological sex. Now, again, this is not the entire left, but these are people on the left that are saying this.
Yeah, it's the moralistic left, or if you like, the social justice left. Just like it wasn't the entirety of the, just like back in the day, it wasn't the entirety of the right. It was the moralistic, quote unquote, family values.
But the fact that you have people on TV saying there's no such thing as biological sex, the fact that you have people that say they're scientists saying there's no such thing as biological sex, it's like, what are you?
And meanwhile, objectivity is considered a harmful delusion.
Well, the thing that I'm curious about is like, are you just being a useful idiot, or do you actually believe that?
No, they're being useful idiots.
It's so hard.
No,
to get.
I think the vast majority of them actually believe it, because they're taught to believe it at a time when their sense of identity is being formed. That's generally the time when you form your adult identity, your adult worldview, your adult perspective on things, is generally the time most people go away to college. Therefore, if your sense of self is vulnerable, and the people who you trust, who you think have it all figured out, who you think are these wise, enlightened professors, inculcate you into this worldview, well, this is the worldview of the intelligent people. So obviously I'm going to believe it, because I don't want to be an unenlightened cretin or deliberately anti-intellectual. Therefore, they pressurize their brains into believing it. And most of the professors are exactly the same way, because how they become professors is by doing that shit for multiple decades and operating in that worldview for multiple decades, so much that even if there was a point where they didn't believe it, they have long since forgotten that they didn't believe it.
Well, here's one thing too I want to bring up,
whether they believe it or not.
From Mitch Rogers, he says Bill Nye, for instance, which is absolutely true. Bill Nye back in the 90s, when he did his science show, Bill Nye the Science Guy, and he talked about sex and talked about gender, and how he talked about there's only two sexes and only two genders. And now he does Bill Nye Saves the World and talks about how gender's a spectrum. And it's like, I get that sometimes science get things, with gay ice cream. I get the fact that sometimes science is wrong, but this is something that has basically been pretty much well known since the beginning of mankind.
Well, when this type of stuff really started, it started to kind of creep in and take over their cultural consciousness. They decided to all jump on the bandwagon. Most of it is disingenuous because these people don't believe it, especially on the corporate level. All these corps that you constantly see pushing Pride Month, everything that you see that comes across your Twitter feeds as you're looking through Twitter, guys, when these corps like drone on about how they're inclusive and they believe in this stuff, get the hell out of there. Behind closed doors, they do not. The CEOs do not believe in this stuff. Most of the people do not believe in this stuff, but they've doubled down, made their employees on the lower levels of the company go through all this bullshit in training for this stuff. But really and truly, the people running the show, running the company, don't believe in it. I can promise you that.
This is the
they don't want to lose profits.
I'm sure there are some people who are as you described, but here's the thing: they made sure to convert the people in these corporations first, because that is how you convert a civilization to a new ideological
control the HR department,
philosophy, or a new religion. When the Romans were converting the Celts and the pre-Christian pagans to Christianity, they went for the priests, the kings, and the holy sites first. That's why
well,
a lot of
the other thing they do is they demonize the previous
Yeah.
religion,
That's
because you see
why-
this actually in Greek mythology too. Because when the Dorans came into Greece, there was a lot of like local river gods and goddesses, and it's like the whole thing with like Medusa. The reason why she became a Gorgon was because she was a local river. I think it was like a river spirit, a river goddess.
Right.
And they basically said, she's a demon now, a monster. And
Right,
basically you demonize the past beliefs to indoctrinate the new people.
Yeah, the point being, that's why most early Christian churches were built over top of
pagan sites. Yeah. And adopted pagan holidays. Yeah.
And the same is true of this new secular moral ideology. You always go where the power collects first, because even if a corporation can't hold these beliefs by necessity, the people in these corporations most definitely can be convinced, especially if they have 20 or 30 years of academic woo and all of the intelligentsia saying, yes, this is totally the most intelligent thing you could possibly think, and if you don't think it, then you must be too simple to understand it, and you don't understand all this woo we've conjured up for you.
Yeah.
So the other thing I want to throw out real quickly is like, I've studied. I talk about this all the time. My degree is in anthropology. I studied sex, gender, and culture. Okay, you didn't have all this crazy nonsense back in the 90s when they're teaching this stuff. It's like, for the most part, you have seen trans people in certain cultures. You've seen it within technically like the Native Americans and
the Two-Spirit,
within Indian,
so on.
And in India with the Hijras. But for the most part, that was an anomaly. It was always looked upon as being not the norm. It was not the Hijras were treated like crap in India, but the Native Americans, on the other hand, it was just something that was different and nobody really cared.
Yeah,
but again, it was rare. And nobody, but it wasn't like, there's all these different genders, and
and if you doubt that corporations can be, or the leaders of corporations can be converted into this, I will bring up two things. Thing one, remember who most of the heads of these corporations are. It's not the Rupert Murdochs of the world anymore. It's people like Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. And a lot of those people grew up in a culture where, not to beat on this drum too hard, but remember in 80s movies, who was always the villain? The big opportunistic fat cat. And if you're a young Mark Zuckerberg being, raised in a culture of all of these mustache twirling capitalists are evil, and then you become the hyper wealthy capitalist, you're going to have an immeasurable amount of guilt, because you were told from an early age, excesses of capitalism bad. Therefore, you may be easily primed for the notion that, but if we use capitalism against itself, if we use capitalism's resources to advocate against capitalism, then that makes us the good people. Here, let me tell you how to further be the good people. And use your capitalist privilege to undermine itself. Boom. And there's the rub. And the other rub is a lot of people in these positions of power are sociopaths and narcissists. Now, you may think that makes them immune to this kind of shit, but here's the rub. Despite the lack of empathy in sociopathic brains, and again, going back to neurochemistry here, every other structure in a narcissist or sociopath brain is still a normal functional human brain. And human brains are wired to operate under moral structures, whether we have empathy or not, which is why you see a lot of times when you get a violent sociopath, they also have a 1,000-page moral manifesto, because they don't have the instinctive notion of what is good and bad. So in order to compensate for their lack of understanding of what is good and bad intuitively, they intellectualize it and nail it down to a post with extremely specific moral philosophy. So if you give a narcissist or a sociopath extremely specific moral structures to follow, that is going to plug right into the traumatized part of their brain that prevents them from having empathy and make them convinced that they are a good person.
Okay,
And
real
let
quick. Southern Belle is saying Zuckerberg was effing people over since his college days. He's a sociopath. Wrong. He's a lizard person.
And again,
man.
that doesn't negate my point. That very much furthers the second half of my point.
As Hulk Hogan famously once said back in the WCW days, "This is where the power lies, brother."
Do we even want to talk about the new Alien TV series?
Oh God.
We know how bad it's going to be, don't we? Come on.
Did we actually
Let's be
finish the
honest.
Rich Johnson screed?
Yeah, that was basically the end of the article. There wasn't
thank
much
God.
left of it, and it's like,
We survived Rich Johnson. Huzzah.
yeah, it's bleeding cool. We don't need to go through the whole thing.
Rich Johnson will forever be on my permanent shit list because when DC Vertigo crashed, he blamed anti-SJWs for it. And that will always get you on my shit list because Sandman is my favorite comic of all time. So you can fuck right off with that shit.
And by the way,
He's a fucking shill anyway.
Yeah.
for anybody that's a Star Trek fan, just remember there was a rumor that Noah Hawley was going to do a Star Trek movie. Oh God.
Yeah, you have to remind me who Noah Hawley is.
He's a marginal director, right? It's like I lump him in the Ryan Johnson class.
Okay,
Yeah,
I was gonna say, is there anything better than what we're getting now? Or?
Fuck, no.
Okay.
No.
All right, so new Aliens TV series or Alien. I just fucking call it Aliens anyway. Will be class warfare. Can't talk. Will be class warfare with xenomorphs. This is how I record, folks. I fuck shit up all the time.
Wait.
Okay. Now I see what you're talking about. Noah Hawley. Okay, he's the showrunner. That explains everything. Noah Hawley explains what you need to know about the upcoming FX show and his latest novel, Anthem. I'm curious how they're going to spin all this into talking about how they'll defend corporations is what they'll do because
they will. They will defend the corporations in it.
Yeah, because modern class has nothing to do with modern class has nothing to do with finances and everything to do with culture. That's why they can get away with shaming people like us, because whether they want to admit it or not, they consider us the peasantry and them the aristocracy.
Eat the rich? That's not a bad premises for a new iteration of Alien. But most of the time, the series is about hyper parody. Extraterrestrials have focused on working class heroes. The whole thing with Ridley Scott, the 1979 movie was, they were basically truck drivers in space. It wasn't nice, clean, what we've been getting out of sci-fi, like with Andromeda Strain, where the future is like white walls and bright lights. Yeah, it was dark, dingy, and yes, it was truck drivers in space. That's what they were doing. Ridley Scott's 1969 original focused on cosmic merchant marines who discover wreckage with deadly cargo aboard, while James Cameron's 1986 sequel Aliens was about an actual Marines whose rescue mission turns into an operation to capture the Friends. Whether it's David Fincher's Prisoner Colony in the third film, what do you guys think of the third film?
Well, 3 or
3.
Yeah, Alien 3.
I didn't mind Alien 3 all that much.
I didn't mind Alien 3 all that much either.
It was
fine.
I agree with all the people that they destroyed the second film with it, but as a standalone feature, it's fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. As a standalone feature, it's fine. I didn't like what they did to Hicks and killing Hicks and Newt off.
Oh, I know.
I thought that kind of sucked.
Well, but there's all right, but
what
it was a fine film. I mean, it was okay. One of the problems I have with these, and I have for a long time, is that they're very disjointedly connected. It's not linear by any sense, despite some carryover. You know what I mean?
Fun fact: Aliens 3 was the first Aliens movie to have a sex scene in it.
Great.
No, it's true. Yeah, not that it needed it. Anyway, Prisoner Colony in the third film, or the Mercenaries of the 1997's fourth movie, which was terrible, from director Jean-Pierre Jeunet. It's always the workers and the upper class facing the acidic wrath of the creatures. Maybe there's a capitalism metaphor inherent in the series. No, it was about evil corporations and bad people doing bad things. I mean, come on. Of course, they're going to have to go to the capitalism is evil.
Yeah,
and then, of course, they are.
Corporatism are the same thing, dumbass.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. It's corporatism. It was really more about corporatism than it was about capitalism. So, and that I mean, that's the funny thing too, because it's the same themes of like cyberpunk as well. The idea of corporations being more powerful than governments, and that's kind of what you got in Aliens a little bit too, because they were trying to weaponize the aliens.
Pay no attention to any similarity of the world outside your window. What we are describing.
I know, right?
That's right, folks. Don't pay attention to what's going on. Yes, we are heading for Mike Pondsmith's dark future. Just at least give me some goddamn cybernetics first.
I know.
Demolition Man now supplied by Blade Runner rules.
Well, it's funny because as you guys know, I watch a lot of Tim Pool, and of course, when we talk about the dystopian future, what a lot of people bring up is Brave New World. And obviously, everyone brings up 1984. But we're going to be getting a mishmash of the two.
Yeah, It ain't going to be one. It's going to be a mishmash of like a couple. So,
yeah.
Probably a little bit of a give or two while we're at it.
The other thing that Rob Altus points out, capitalism, the very thing that makes Hollywood money, or rather used to.
I think it's going to be Demolition Man. What was that one where everybody was stupid in the future?
Idiocracy?
Idiocracy.
Well, you kind of had that in Demolition Man. It was like
Demolition Man, yeah.
Yeah, where
it's going to be a mishmash of like 3 or 4 of them. So.
Yeah, where Nina Huxley was like, says, "What do you think about this?" And he goes, "I try not to think."
Well, it was. In Demolition Man, though, there was also the like almost pathological deferring to science as an authority rather than a study, which again, pay no attention to the any similarities to civilizations, real or imagined, are entirely coincidental. But with the sexual fluid transfer is now obsolete because studies have shown this new sexual fluid transfer method is better, and
you
so on.
Couldn't have hamburgers either, and I'm looking what they're trying to do. They're like, you can't have meat. It's coming. Like,
periodic reminder: Demolition Man takes place in 2032. It is now 2021. And it very much seems like we might be able to get from there to there in about
2020, the 2030 agenda, which I talk about with the Great Reset on Unsafe Space. Go check that out.
And even the Los Angeles burning down that John Spartan faces in the beginning of the movie that leads to that future bears a striking resemblance to, say, 40 to 60% of last year, maybe.
So,
God.
So it might take a little longer than 2032, but we're still on some kind of schedule.
Our future's gonna suck.
Rob just said Soylent Green was set in 2022, guys.
Yeah.
I don't think we're on track to hit the Soylent Green marker, but we're definitely on track to hit the Demolition Man one.
Yeah,
I would strongly disagree with your take there, We're already composting human beings in Washington and Oregon. I don't think we're that far away from eating them.
Wait,
Very
wait,
close.
what?
Oh, I'll get you an
Wow.
article. I'll be right back.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, culture's gonna
All
like,
right.
here's my beer. Really.
Let me get some super chats real quick. Okay, Toxic Man Flu of Dixivision for $5. If they gender and race swap Putang, then they have gone too far. Just remember, nobody's safe from this nonsense.
Nobody.
If you're a black man, give it time. They're gonna come for you too. Just
Well, not even if you're a rich and powerful person, they would turn on you in an instant.
Yeah.
Too.
Nelson the Gentleman for $5. Can you all review the article by Ann Gause, why turning down a woman when she offers sex is rape? Article? What? I want to hear you all rip in.
What?
Yeah, he wants to hear us rip
we
all,
may have to
especially
now,
Dalton.
Nelson.
Oh my God! Seriously, what?
And thank you for the compliment, Nelson. You are officially my favorite subscriber because you're the only one that does what he's told and watches the backlog of videos until I can make new ones.
Okay, I got a response to this.
What?
Oh my God, culture!
I need the Stone Cold Steve Austin clip. What?
Yeah.
Or a bunch of David Tennant Doctor Who clips. What?
No. Yeah, this is my other one. So also responding with what? What the fuck? Okay, I gotta find this dude. I gotta find this.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, did you already find it, culture?
Cray shit, man.
Oh no, this is different. Okay, it's human composting. Jesus Christ. Fucking humanity. Okay.
Agenda 2030. I'm looking forward to my time in the quarantine camps, folks.
That's not a quarantine camp. You just go there to concentrate really hard.
Mm-hmm.
You may take my private property, including my antiques, over my cold dead hands. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Hey, if anybody wants to join me there, let's have a party.
Are you bringing the red solo cups?
Yeah, well, we'll sit down and have our daily gruel together, Dalton.
Nelson, if you can send to me on Twitter, I'd love to check this out. All right.
I really want to see. Yes, I am.
Yeah, I want to see.
We might have to cover this on Monday. Oh my God.
Greatly interested to see this article.
Same here. Okay. Now a new FX TV series based on the franchises in the works from Fargo showrunner Noah Hawley. Has anyone watched the Fargo TV series?
Nope.
I saw
Tom?
1 or 2 episodes, but I just
Nope.
didn't like it.
All right.
So
Okay. I never saw it, so I can't say whether it was good or not. All right. Let's see here. Who says it's time? It's about time for the face huggers and xenomorphs to sink their claws into white collar executives who have been responsible for sending so many people to their dooms.
And moralistic cunts like you haven't ever sent anyone to their doom. Oh, wait, the entirety of human history. Derp.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. In a conversation about the symbolism of season 4 of Fargo, Hawley also offered an update on the Alien series as well as his new novel, Anthem, which I don't give a shit about. The show, however, will have to wait a little while since the crush of new productions after the pandemic has consumed all of Hollywood's resources. How appropriate. All right, so that's about Fargo. Is there anything else you can share? Wait, is talking about. Okay, where are you in the process? Oh, Ridley. Okay, so here's what we start talking about. Okay, Alien series, talking franchise, blah blah blah. Family Scott, James Cameron. Those are great monster movies, but they're not just monster movies. They're about humanity trapped between our primal parasitic past and our artificial intelligence future, and they're both trying to kill us. Okay.
The past was not parasitic. It sucked for most people, but it wasn't parasitic.
Yeah.
Here you have human beings, and they can't go forward. They can't go back. So I find that really interesting. Okay. It's a fucking monster movie, okay?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
The idea behind it is that, and this is the beauty, it's like any slasher film. You have something that is more powerful than the puny humans, and they have a hard time. You can run, you can hide, but ultimately it kind of stalks and kills people one by one.
And in space, no one can hear you scream. Hence
Yeah, exactly.
The tagline.
Yeah.
It's about isolation. It's the same thing. In isolation, I think it's a very, very powerful tool in horror movies. I mean, take a look at The Thing. That is also about isolation and paranoia. And you have the exact same thing happening with an alien because, again, you're isolated in space. You're confined to a spaceship. There's really only so far you can run. And of course, you have the paranoia aspect of when will this thing come around the corner? Then you have the android freaking out and trying to murder people. Then you find out that the corporation, believes you're expendable, that the alien life form is more important than you. I mean, it's pretty fucking frightening.
And
It is.
Yeah.
also, in regards to the point about isolation, look no further than the entirety of the COVID fiasco to demonstrate just how Lovecraftian and demoralizing isolation can be.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm betting that an entire generation of horror movies will be jump started just from kids who grew up under this this fiasco alone, which will be at least very interesting for horror movies. So yay!
Just trapped in your house and you can't get out.
Yeah, Godzillionaire for $2. Alien TV show needs a strong woman lead. Oh wait.
Oh wait.
Well, I'm sure they'll do the same thing they did with Princess Leia when it was Rey's time to shine. All other women who were in this franchise aren't strong enough because reasons. But what about Ellen Ripley? What about Sarah Connor? What about Princess Leia?
Oh, they don't matter.
Yeah, they don't matter at
all
all.
of these are inadmissible because reasons, and because they aren't the appropriate definition of what it is to be feminist or feminine, therefore reasons.
Yeah. Terminus S for $2. Woke alien in space. No one can hear you scream. Is it gonna have period jokes?
No, it's gonna change. No one can hear you
Yeah.
Whee!
Well, actually, now that you bring it up, that is an excellent solution to the wokeness problem. Why don't we just give all of the people who espouse this ideology a free ticket to Alpha Centauri, buttressed by the fortunes of Elon Musk? Someone get Elon on the line. Let's make this happen.
No, when Friday the 13th makes a comeback, I now really want to write Friday the 13th movie that has Jason killing every single activist archetype, especially
that would be
SAW
fucking hilarious.
activist archetype.
Dude, that would be freaking hilarious.
Yes, I just want to have in my movie Jason go on a killing spree of liberal radicals.
Here's the thing, man. I don't want it to be one-sided, right? I mean, I think you got to use humor in this stuff.
Yeah,
and that's the problem. What we're seeing now with entertainment, it's swung so far to the left. I don't want the exact same thing, but going to the other side.
My God,
That's
Soul Assassin.
why I always.
Wow.
I always try to be consistent when I call out moralists that I point out, that the right did this too not so long ago.
Yeah.
Because I don't want this to just be one of those. Well, I guess traditionalism didn't do so much wrong after all. Let's go back to it 10 years later. Oh no, they're calling everyone communist when they're not, and we're being banned from playing D&D and reading fantasy books and shit because witchcraft and whatnot.
Yep. Yeah. What's up, Basco? What's up, Guy Scar? There we go. As I'm reading your YouTube name. How you doing, man? All right. Chicago box for $2.99. Even Conan had a strong but hot female warrior. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
The good old Conan movies.
Nelson the Gentleman for $2. Comics I sent you on Facebook Messenger. Cool. Yeah, I'm not on Facebook, dude. So email to me. comicsdivision@gmail.com. Do that. Because other than that, I mean, Twitter. I have the Instagram. Oh yeah, I'm on Instagram now. I don't know why, but actually I know why. But anyway,
it's gonna be Comics Division, the influencer. There we go.
Did you see they're using pronouns against Jason, and Jason just doesn't care. He just goes in there and
anyway,
I'm a girl.
Yeah, the main thing what I want is I want my entertainment to be apolitical. Because at the same time, talking about alienating audiences, you don't want to do the same thing except the other direction.
But it would just be quite entertaining. That's all.
Yeah, it's like if you're gonna do it, you got to do both sides, man. That's.
I know.
Yeah. Talk to me on Flip Fish for $2. Always wanted them to make aliens versus lesbians.
Well, I mean, aliens do a hell of a lot of probing, don't they?
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm. They do.
Stay away from her, you bitch.
Yeah.
Get off my spaceship.
All right.
Where
are you in that process? I've written a couple of scripts, the first 2 scripts, and we're looking to make them next spring. Well, when you get to something with this level of visual effects, that's going to be tough. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see for TV show. There's a lot of preparation that has to go into it. They'll probably just fucking green screen everything.
Mm-hmm. They are.
Yeah. That's been really illuminating. Is to see that the entire film industry had to take a year off, and they are now trying to jam 2 years of production into 1 year. Yeah, good luck with that. Which means we're going to get a lot of shitty movies. That's what it sounds like.
And Disney Plus is going to even be worse.
What they should have done is take their year off and use it to make better things. Since you have an extra year to play around with in the writing department, but they didn't. So man.
All right, so Guy Scar just got back from Black Widow. Hey man, do you want me to shoot you a link? Do you want to talk about it? I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of curious because I'm not planning on seeing it.
This whole time. I've been editing Andre's review this whole time.
I skimmed through it. It's not that great.
Yeah, I was to say, is it as bad as we all think it's going to be?
They gender flipped Taskmaster.
I know.
They did.
Of course.
Yeah, that's not new, honestly.
There was a lot of filler in the movie.
Yeah,
they literally.
Well, they were clearly setting up Florence Pugh's character to be a replacement for Natasha, because now Natasha
that's what I heard.
Is no more.
They put a thing where they're gonna do like a face-off thing where they're gonna probably take her face and put Black Widow's face on the chick. It was some weird shit that went on towards the end. So
okay, Toxic Man flew of Dexidoodle for $2. Ripley did strap on that mech suit. Just saying. Nelson the Gentleman for $2. I sent it to you on
Instatits.
Instatits. Shut up and take him. Take my money.
yeah, and Madam Hydra is in it too. Comics. So,
Yeah, well, she was in
yeah,
that
Agent Carter
TV show.
season 2.
Mhm.
yeah.
No, I think it was Falcon and the Winter something or other.
Yeah.
That show. That,
Wait, hold
yeah.
on. Sharon Carter's supposed to be Madam Hydra in that?
No, it wasn't Sharon Carter. It was Madam Hydra. I didn't see Sharon in there.
yeah,
I was skimming
Elaine
through the
Hydra,
movie.
as Godzilla
Yeah,
just
Elaine
said.
Hydra. She's playing both sides. She's playing Hydra and playing in the government. So that's how she's all this stuff.
I don't think
I
they're
was
actually
gonna
going to
say,
make her
'cause
Madam
Agents of
Hydra.
S.H.I.E.L.D.
though.
already
Sharon
did-
is
already
the,
did.
I'm thinking Sharon is actually a Skrull too. So
I don't think she is.
I really hope they don't do Secret Invasion. It would be such a waste
they
of
are.
time.
They are.
Secret Invasion is
Yeah.
already confirmed. So
Yeah.
Mm.
Well,
Confirmed.
that's
You
gonna
didn't
be a
you
lot
didn't
of
have
garbage.
enough to set up with a multiverse and mysticism and all this other, cosmic. Like, you already have all the necessary toys, Marvel. Actually play with them, please.
Yeah, it's
You don't
gonna
need
be
to add more shit when you already have plenty of shit
Well,
you can already just justifiably expand into.
yeah, you saw what they did to She-Hulk. So
Well, in the comics, I don't think they're gonna do that to Tatiana Maslany
I wouldn't
when
put
she
it
plays her
past
in
them.
the.
They'll
Oh,
go through
God.
the first season, and in the second season, she becomes this red beast. Watch.
Again,
Yeah.
I doubt they're gonna do that to Tatiana Maslany. Tatiana Maslany is too much of a high caliber actor to try and do that to.
Well, let's just agree Axel Braun's Black Widow will be better
Oh
than
yeah,
Probably.
Axel's is like 10 out of 10. Okay, let's just say that right now.
There's going to be a lot of hard-hitting action.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly.
Anyway, Nelson, I got it. I'll take a look at it, and we'll oh yeah, that's right. We're doing the Sunday show. We'll talk about it on Sunday.
Yeah, and it's closing in on 1:30 here. I actually have to bow out and get some sleep.
Oh,
All right, Drew.
So
Drew, take care, brother.
I just, I want to say thank you again to the chat for such a great turnout this evening. Thanks for supporting Comics' channel. I mean, you guys are awesome. And, you're great friends, my brothers and sisters. So appreciate you. And thank you to Comics for having me on. Next week, we'll have a regularly scheduled Pegasus Actual podcast. I had to cancel tonight because we had a major thunderstorm roll through. And of course, as I said, the power was out, so we couldn't do it this evening. But we will have it next Thursday. And then, of course, during the week, I'll be on the various streams. And then also back here next Thursday night. So listen, if you haven't subscribed to me yet, make sure that you stop by my channel, youtube.com/Supreme Heretic. You can follow me on Twitter @Supreme Heretic. I am definitely involved in the information war. I am 100% on the front lines out there asking questions and probably getting myself on 3-letter agency lists, but that's all right. I want to do that because in the end, I want truth and I want freedom. And that's what I think everybody should be pursuing. So thank you again, folks, and have a great night.
There's Drew. Take care.
Beware.
Yeah.
See you later, Drew.
Take care, my friends.
All right, so
Much
guys
love.
are saying Comics Division. We'll be doing a review shortly. It was an estrogen-powered movie. I did find it entertaining, but not close to amazing. Yeah, did it make you squeam? Did it put you in your place? Were you uncomfortable with the period jokes?
I can't for the life of me figure out why they didn't just make a movie based on Clint and Natasha's Budapest adventure they kept alluding to.
Do I
1,000
know,
times.
right? They did bring that up in the movie, though. So
They did, but it's like,
yeah,
okay, but since Avengers, they've been talking about this Budapest
Yeah.
fiasco, which apparently was very emotionally important to all parties involved and brought them very close together. And they've been alluding to it in Age of Ultron, in Winter Soldier, in basically everywhere Natasha ever freaking shows up. And your first concept for a Black Widow movie is random Taskmaster
Yeah.
cameo, because why again?
Yep. I love Guys Cars comments. Nope. I have a house full of women. I've heard it all. Yeah. I don't understand why. Was it the rap that said that?
Oh, dude, don't even get me started.
We covered it last. We covered it last Thursday.
Yeah, dude. Every single Penske media outlet ran with that bullshit. I was like, okay, you got 4 trade papers under your umbrella, and that's the best you can come up with.
When they put shit out like that, it just makes me not want to see the movie.
Yeah, and you know what? And here's the problem: is Sharon Waxman, who runs the Wrap, she fed right into it, ran a similar story. I was like, good Christ, you guys, look. You're going the 180-degree wrong direction when you're trying to market this to everybody. But that's, you need somebody to blame when the shit fucking goes downhill.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Gravemaster, if you watched her today on Twitter, she posted screenshots of what her theaters looked like at the supposedly ridiculous record-setting Fandango film that we were going to see.
Oh, they're doing the ghost seats again.
Oh, dude. And she's like, there is nobody going to see this thing. There was nobody. It was empty.
I've heard that from 3 people now, culture, that went to see the movie today. So,
yeah. And here's the thing. I'm asking my audience, I'm asking the people here, if you go see this thing, you know what? Right before the movie starts, right before 1 minute before the film is supposed to start, go to the front of the theater, take a picture of the front of the theater. I will blur out all their faces. I won't dox anybody. I just want to see how many humans are actually in the box before that thing starts, because I don't think it's going to be that many. And they're going to claim this thing did $80 million. It's a record setter. And I'm going to be like, no, it didn't. No,
doing
it didn't.
the same thing with finger quotes in here they did with Captain Marvel.
Bounding into Comics did a really good in-depth study of the Captain Marvel thing, right? And and I respect them a whole lot. And the tangible evidence is always better than this is the numbers. Mm-hmm. No, the numbers need to be represented. If I can turn around at a theater and 90% of it is filled with humans, it's a popular film, right? And so if only the front row is empty, it's a really good movie, right? So it's one of those things. And, we haven't had one of those in a long time. After The Last Jedi, the FOMO for films kind of fell off like a cliff.
Yeah. And the last big Marvel one was Infinity War. And I know a lot of people are going to butt Endgame at me, but here's the thing. Infinity War was better than Endgame.
No, I'm not going to disagree with you. You're right, man.
Because it actually took more risk and utilized more of the world building they had set up than Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
Endgame,
I do not disagree,
was just a lazy time travel plot that for some reason forgot they had spent the last 10 years setting up shit that they didn't bother using.
Mm-hmm.
I legit, after like sitting on it, I came to the conclusion I didn't like Endgame. I really don't. Mainly because, like you mentioned, the whole thing with the time travel stuff, the 5-year time jump, that fucks up a lot of stuff. They by going that route, they fucked up the MCU and they painted themselves into a corner.
It just wasn't to scale. Hell, the movie previous to that, Infinity War, bothered to freaking establish Nidavellir existed. Which, they had been talking about Nidavellir for a couple of the Thor movies, but even I, with my love of everything mystical and cosmic in every comic ever, never thought in a million years we would see Nidavellir, but there was an entire subplot devoted to Nidavellir. Meanwhile, Ego was a Celestial in Guardians 2, and they established Yusun the Judge in Guardians 1. Not a single Celestial ever showed up to fight Thanos, despite the fact that he blew up half the life in the universe. I guess we're getting them now in Eternals, but until I actually see a trailer with some Celestials in it, I remain unconvinced they're going to do that right either.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree with you, Delton.
Do we want to keep reading this article, or do we simply want to pass judgment and say this show's going to suck?
Yeah, I would say it's gonna suck.
Well, I mean, we if there's anything of substance in it, please feel free to proffer it. But
Yeah.
No, I didn't proof it beforehand. So
So wait, this is Aliens, right?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We already know what this is.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry, Dalton. What were we talking about?
we were talking about the failure of the MCU to actualize their own potential.
Yeah. Yeah.
Despite the fact that world building is the entire goddamn point of the franchise.
Yeah, for sure. I know from me, when I watched it the first time, I was like, I don't think I can sit through this movie again. Yep. Culture.
Yeah.
Where'd you go, buddy?
Dude, I'm so disappointed right now. I've got Aliens messed up, right? And Predators messed up, and I mean they're gonna jack both of those things. They screwed up Star Wars. Freaking Star Trek is dead. All of my favorite comics.
Doctor Who gone.
Well, this is where
Marvel
I think
and
Timpool is
DC
right.
all
We have to
but
start
gone.
creating. We have to start creating our own culture.
Well, we are. I mean, that's why we have like all these amazing Comicsgate creators. We have independent game designers. We have new culture coming out. I read a really depressing article today, though, and that is that when we start to dive completely into streaming as the only source of like
Entertainment
things, yeah, we're going to end up in a position where independent films get lost in the black hole of emptiness. Because you're going to have so much content out there that isn't good. It'll be hard to find the good. I mean, it's a weird thing. I mean, and I'm going to give Mad Mardigan a lot of credit here. He and I struggle, but actually do succeed in finding really good stuff, like the S. Craig Zahler, or his stuff, like Bone Tomahawk, Dragged Across Concrete, all of those kinds of films. There are good films, but shit, you got to struggle to find them. It is really hard.
And when there are really good films, they often just disappear into the background unless there's a backlash to them, like with Joker. Like for example, a couple of years ago, in 2019, the movie Doctor Sleep came out, which was a sequel to The Shining. Oh my fucking god, that movie was amazing, and it was so much better than Stanley Kubrick's Shining ever was. Don't at me. But it made like 100. It made like 10 million its first weekend, and then dropped into all but obscurity because nobody bothered to publicize the fact that it was a Shining sequel for some reason.
Okay, so this is interesting. Moodybot says it's like the culture is devolving. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
That's a good way to describe it.
It's accurate, but I think it's missing a step because most of this devolution is not organic. It's being pushed by this art school, Frankfurt School mentality of
Arts
of subjectivity in all things. Objective or intersubjective value doesn't exist. Standards of quality are either harmful delusions or limiting structures, and we should get rid of them. And anything resembling taking things seriously on their own terms or viewing things in a diegetic manner rather than a non-diegetic one will always be wrong. And everything is about the themes and the external meaning and the meta woo and the metaphor and the symbolism derp. It's never about a interesting world with well-rounded characters that you actually give a fuck about or interesting world mechanics or anything. It's always about the implications, so many implications, derp. And this is one of my biggest problems with people like Professor Geek, and I don't want to start shit, but I see a lot of people like that, or like the Fourth Age, I believe is the other channel I see doing this a lot, that kind of do the same shit from the other side of you must serve the Jungian archetypes. There is no storytelling outside of the Jungian archetypes. How dare you say that well-rounded characters could ever exist outside of the Jungian archetypes, derp. And it's the same shit, but it's from the other side of it's only ever about the metaphor and the symbolism. You can't care about characters because they're likable characters or interesting characters. You can't care about worlds because they're well constructed or internally make sense. You have to care about the symbolism and the meta commentary, damn it. And I hate that shit.
It doesn't have to always be about that stuff, but one thing, but the other thing too, it's not just our entertainment, obviously, that is devolving, but our actual culture, I feel like, is devolving as well. Like the thing that actually binds us together as a society
is often the pop culture. So that was why I use that as an example.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I feel like culturally as a, you know, a group of humans, I feel like we're going the wrong direction.
I've said that. For
now you sound like me. Comics, a group of humans.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean it's not wrong though, right? I mean that's what societies are. We're groups of humans bound together by a common culture. I mean that's the whole idea of what America is. It's the melting pot.
I'm gonna dub us a groupal.
A groupal. The idea, you know, people come to this country because there's opportunity, and the thing, and we talked about this before, where it's like if America is such a racist, terrible country, why do immigrants want to come to this country? We're not talking about just the light-skinned ones. We're talking about the dark-skinned ones too. We have people from Nigeria wanting to come to this country because there's opportunity.
Because a lot of other places suck.
Yeah.
Almost every other place sucks.
Why do we have illegals flooding the border right now?
I got a solution for that.
If our country's so racist, why are they coming here?
I got a solution for that. It's not a wall. Don't build a wall. Put up mirrors.
Put mirrors.
So then they think that there's a bunch of other immigrants trying to get the fuck out. So they're like, oh shit. We should turn around and go the other way. It costs a lot less, I bet.
What?
It's fucking sound culture, trust me.
All right.
All right. So talk to me and Flu for $10. Do you think we are creating our own reality to a certain extent? My entire family likes the new Marvel shows and movies. I thought Fast and the Furious 9 was great escapism, and I laughed.
Okay, here's the thing about when people like some of this stuff. Ask them if they know why they like it, because here's the thing, and this is where I'm going to be kind of a philosophical stickler for things. That you like something is not important. What matters is always why you like it. Can you define your terms? Do you understand yourself and the thing you're talking about well enough to know why you like it? Can you explain your reasoning? And if there is no reasoning,
I know I can explain my reasoning why I don't like Loki, the TV show. You know, yeah, I mean, the funny thing too is I completely forgot it came out again, and I haven't watched it.
Yeah, well, you're not missing anything, comics.
I'm pretty sure I'm not.
You,
but
you really didn't miss much. It was mostly just set up for Kang again.
Yeah,
it was a filler episode, basically.
Yeah, a filler episode for 6.
At least it wasn't as filler as the episode where Sylvie and Loki just power around a dying planet because reasons.
Oh yeah, that was a filler episode too. So,
but yeah, I mean, a lot of it comes down to is that you have no journey with Loki, and that's like the problem with honestly all of the Disney Plus TV shows is that there is no actual character arc or journey for the individual. The idea, the thing that annoyed me is in the first episode,
building for the overall universe, if we're going on that metric either.
Episode 1, they literally have Loki from at the very end of the first Avengers movie, who's still a villain at this point, and they basically they sat in front of the TV and said, "This is your life," and now you get the Loki of that ended. So he went through his journey in like a matter of 5 minutes, rather than going through and giving him a proper journey of either self-discovery, realization of,
His own
wow, I'm a
reasons
terrible
for
person.
doing what he
Maybe I
does.
should be better. And the idea of like taking a
No,
look
you're
at,
right. And it's a missed opportunity because we could have had bad Loki back again.
yeah,
To be
absolutely.
fair, there is kind of precedence for stuff like this. Like in A Christmas Carol, the ghost basically just showed Scrooge, like,
But that's
this
the
is your
journey,
life.
though.
Yeah, but
That-
it's
that
a
is-
cheap
that is
way to
his
bring
journey.
back Loki after you killed him. So not only were we taken through the journey of that original Loki and had to watch him die and go through that, now we get a new version of him where you could have had some fun with it, but instead, like comics just said, you take 2 minutes to show him everything that happened. It's basically back to the same Loki we had before.
The
But
whole
only
point of A
worse-
Christmas Carol is the fact that Scrooge goes through this journey. He sees his past, he sees his present, and he sees his future, and the error of his ways are being pointed out to him. That is his journey. It's not done in like 2 minutes. There is a rational explanation. You see him get his heart broken. You see him.
Yeah, that's what the first episode should have been. Is that same 2-minute clip, but in an entire episode, so that Loki.
Well,
and
honestly,
Moby,
it should have taken place over the course of all 6 episodes.
Not or that, or it
Yeah.
should have just
No,
made him more
'cause, like,
angry and more
larger
introverted.
world building is a thing. So I'd be
There
fine if
is.
it was.
You could still
If the
do
first
that.
episode was Loki and Mobius, like doing that same thing, but instead of doing it in 2 minutes, I see the errors of my ways, I'm done. You could have had Mobius using some kind of time simulation technology, which they have and they've used in other episodes, to go, let's do that Christmas Carol type thing with you, Loki. This is you as a kid in young, you as a kid in Asgard. This is you, in the moments leading up to teaming up with Thanos. This is what happens after that whole thing if you didn't fuck up the timeline and so on. Now, and at the end of the episode, it could have been, now, having seen all this laid before you, let me offer you a chance to mend your stars a little bit. And then
that's way better than
It's way
what we're
better
getting.
than the last episode before this, where he was getting kicked in the nuts for half the episode.
Oh God, I know.
So,
Let me ask you, what is the show about? Can anyone answer that? What's the show about?
Marvel needs to set up a multiverse, and they're lazy.
yeah, they are. This is
And they need to
basically
set
a
up
setup.
Kang.
I don't even know if they're doing that.
Quantumania.
They fucking haven't done it. We have one more episode left,
Yeah, one
and
episode.
the branching timeline, everything's back to normal again. They ain't setting up shit, buddy. The only thing they're doing is they're telling the origin story of Lady Loki or the Enchantress. But here's the thing. Okay, I always like bringing up this show because it's so fucking simple to describe. If you haven't seen the show Brimstone that came out in the late 90s, great TV show.
Yeah.
It is a very simple premise. There you have a cop. His wife gets raped. He goes and murders the rapist. He gets killed and he goes to hell. There's a prison break in hell and 113 souls escape. The devil goes to him and say, "You're a cop. I will give you your life back if you go and reclaim those lost souls or those escaped souls." That is the premise. It is set up in the first episode. It is repeated in the intro of the show, so people
So he's
who
Ghost
hop
Rider.
in.
He's the devil's
It
bounty
was a
hunter.
good
Well,
show.
kind of, but it was a good show. It
Yeah,
was
it was.
well acted. The plot was very easy to follow. It was kind of it was episodic, but it had linear moments to it.
Reminds me a
And-
lot of an even older show, G versus E, if anyone remembers.
Yeah,
G
no.
versus E.
I don't know if that one was older, but yeah, it very similar idea.
It seemed very 80s to me, so I might
No,
be
this
wrong.
came
It
out in the
might have
90s. This
been-
came out late 90s. I don't remember when G versus E came out. Also, another great show. But the idea is the fact that you have the setup, you understand what the motive of the character is, and again throughout each episode, the character displays some level of growth, or understanding, or resolution to something. You don't get that with any of the Disney stuff. It's like
No.
character shows up, something happens. Character shows up, something happens. And the other thing too is like, yeah, okay, there is a certain amount of character response to something happening, but there's usually a active decision. Look at the A-Team. Is another good example. Something happens. Okay, they go on the journey. They accept the job and they go perform a task. What's going on Loki? I have no fucking clue. I have no idea what the plot is. I other than the fact that I know what's going on, which is they're setting up the origin story for this new character that I honestly don't care about because they haven't given me a reason to care about her.
Yeah. Well,
hell, I don't even care about Loki at this point either.
Even the world building reasons to watch these things is quickly becoming foobar because Marvel, I've noticed recently, has this fantastic ability to snatch defeat from the very jaws of victory. They give you all the smoke, none of the fire, all of the buildup, none of the payoff. And it was
WandaVision was a prime example of that.
Yeah, exactly. They Easter egged in Evan Peters' character, and the entire plot was essentially revolving around who is this Evan Peters character? Is it the Fox Universe Quicksilver? Is it Mephisto in disguise? Is it Nightmare in disguise? Is it Chthon? Yeah. Because we know we need to establish the Darkhold because we're doing Blade and Moon Knight later. All of these were possible and really good examples. Was it Nicholas Scratch, Agatha's son, who she was going to end up having to sacrifice to summon one of the greater powers, and that was going to lead into Doctor Strange 2 and so on? Nope. Ralph, all of that tension, all of that mystery, all of that fan expertise wasted on a boner joke.
Yep. Yeah, Ralph Boner. So Bruno Abs asking, did it work out with the guy in Brimstone? No, because it was a Fox TV show and it got canceled after its first season.
Yeah,
it was I would say it's a show ahead of its time, just like The Prisoner was.
Yep.
So, or like Firefly, or like Sleepy Hollow, or like Constantine.
Yeah,
these main networks always find a way to fuck up these things.
So. Yeah, Six says I love WandaVision. I was like the first 5 episodes. I thought it was an interesting gimmick that they had. It did keep me invested because I grew up on a lot of those types of sitcoms like Bewitched, the Munsters.
Yeah, that was
Family.
I
Dream of Jeannie.
It wasn't all that bad. That was cool to see all that.
But then they went and they fucked. I mean,
they went and screwed it up.
They fucked it up. It goes back to the whole thing with that. And this is the theme is that the person who you think is the villain is the good guy, and the people that have been said to be the good guys are really the villains. That is the twist that they're doing, and it's so fucking predictable.
And the twist on top of a twist is, oh, by the way, never mind all that investment you poured into it. Never mind all that time you spent writing a better story than we could be arsed to come up with. None of this matters, or it'll be erased in 5 minutes anyway. So because that was the thing. I was loving having Agatha Harkness there. I was loving having her like explain shit and establish that runes are a thing and how the actual ins and outs of how the magic of the MCU functions. And then nope, just turns into she has the freaking Darkhold. That thing is basically a mystical nuke within the context of the Marvel universe.
Yeah.
And they didn't do any goddamn thing with it. And presumably she's had the darn thing for centuries because that was probably where most of her coven's power was coming from.
Yeah.
But none of this gets explored. And further to that, apparently her coven, despite being powered mostly by the Darkhold, was still able to keep a moral center enough to execute her for presumably killing a bunch of people. So how that, given that Wanda is going to be corrupted by the Darkhold in Doctor Strange 2, that kind of would have been useful information to know how the fuck they could resist the call of the Darkhold, which is literally every evil spell in the entire Marvel universe in one fucking
the
book
other thing
created
too
by
is
a dark
that
god.
ultimately, if you watch the show, the characters basically start in the exact same spot for the most part. Falcon and Winter Soldier is a perfect example. You could skip the TV show and you would know that Falcon is going to become Captain America.
Mm-hmm.
It happened at the end of Endgame. And what's the first thing he does? He hands the shield back. And then it's about him getting the shield back and becoming Captain America. It's like he was already handed the fucking shield.
Yeah.
Nothing of substance happened in that show.
Yeah, and
Same
by
thing
the
with
way,
WandaVision. It was the origin of her fucking costume.
Well, and the fact that she's going to be the villain in the next, or a villain in the next movie, obviously. And I still maintain
they could have set that up in the fucking movie. They didn't need to do it in the TV show. Well, I mean, but they didn't do it in the TV show.
They're going to have Nightmare, and they're going to have maybe Mephisto, but she's going to be part of the villain too. But then she's probably going to be the main villain. But then at the end,
they've already said that.
Okay,
yeah.
As far as that goes, to go on a little bit of a nerdy sidebar, because the magical side of any given comics universe is kind of my thing. In addition to like actual occultism, but that's a completely irrelevant sidebar. In the comics, the Darkhold is written by a being named Cthon, who is an elder god of the ancient earth, and essentially the source of all dark magic. Because Wanda is using the Darkhold, and in the comics gets most of her chaos magic power from Cthon, I suspect it's going to be Cthon who is the villain, because it makes no freaking sense to have it be anyone else if you're going to bother doing that. Also, we have to set up Blade, which means we need to do vampires. And the Darkhold.
They already mentioned vampires in the show.
And the Darkhold contains a spell for the mass creation of vampires. So much so that Dracula wants the damn thing in the comics, so he can basically turn everyone on Earth into a vampire. And at one of the lowest points of my favorite character, Doctor Strange, in the Marvel Universe, he turned his apparent brother that we've never established previously into a vampire because he wanted to bring him back to life. But that's going to turn into me ranting about Doctor Strange, which nobody has time for. Because it can go on forever.
I'm gonna make a video on why I actually hate Loki, and I'm gonna talk about all the things in a little bit more detail of why it's bad, because there's no fucking plot, there's no character journey for Loki. So
there's no hero's journey whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: it doesn't always have to be a hero's journey. It could be a journey of descent, like what we saw in Joker. There was still the idea behind a movie. It's the transformation of the protagonist.
I'm going by the Campbell thing.
Or the transformation of the world in response to the protagonist.
There's still a journey. It's either up or down, I guess is the best way of putting it. But
that's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. But you're right. I mean, there was a joke when I was doing film stuff. A friend of mine, he was a very good writer, and the joke about the themes of a movie, or basically the plot, is like man climbs up tree, people show up and throw rocks at him, he climbs down, forever changed. That's basically how you need to look at your story. Is that you have the climbing of the tree is the adventure, people show up and throw rocks at them, that's the adversity and overcoming it, and when he climbs down, basically the events of the journey has changed the individual. Those are stories that we can relate to.
Then goes on to change the world, which does happen sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing. I'm getting
that's also very oversimplified and very basic explanation of how a story should work.
I am getting kind of sick of this. We can't ever just have characters who are competent and know what they're doing. Every character has to be an emotionally damaged bundle of nerves, because otherwise we can't think of interesting things to do with them. Well, I'm sorry, but sometimes what's more interesting than the person internally changing is the person the person digging in their heels and saying, "No, you move, world." Like it's a Superman thing of like, Superman doesn't need to go through moral ascension or descension.
No, yeah,
what he needs to do is interact with the world around him. Same thing with Captain America. He didn't need any moral uplifting or downplaying. What he needed was a chance to actualize the moral good that was already there. And when Doctor Strange is done correctly,
you hit on something. There's basically two types. Well, I would say there's two types of stories, but you have the events of the world change the protagonist, or you have the protagonist changing the world. Yeah. Which is a very quick summation of what you said.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just. You don't get that. It's like, what has Loki done? He kind of meanders through the story, and It's like, okay, great. What's the plot? What's the goal? At the end, there's still a goal of some kind, right?
Or a better question: is any of this going to be relevant in 5 minutes? Which is the question I always end up asking, because that was my biggest problem with
going to be no,
WandaVision.
Dalton. It's not going to be relevant because so far out of all the series, they have not been fucking relevant. Nothing of substance actually happens.
Was done after Winter Soldier was done. Not relevant. It was just
Most of my problem with WandaVision is just that because they pulled the your expectations are irrelevant, fuck you for getting invested in any of this maneuver, it effectively amounted to nothing world building wise, apart from we now know that runes, how runes function in the MCU, and we have the Darkhold, which can be enough if they're ever actually going to do anything with them. But as I just got through ranting a little bit ago, they never fucking do. It's always all smoke, no fire, all setup, no payoff. And it's
by the way, I gotta point something out real quick. Apparently, Bruno Adams is becoming the random 40K quote generator. Sorry, Dalton. Continue.
Yeah, but I'm sick of. In the first 3 phases, I gave Marvel a lot of the benefit of the doubt because I knew they didn't have all the toys set up correctly. I knew they couldn't tell the big abstract cosmic stories because it's going to take a while for the audience to get accustomed to that kind of stuff, and it's going to take a little while to set up that kind of stuff in universe. But post Infinity War, you have all the toys. You have an audience that's on board with basically everything you do. So start telling the kinds of stories that I go to comics for. That was your mandate when you set up the Marvel Cinematic Universe to begin with. We want to tell stories that you can't tell in most other formats because comics are too expansive and too cosmic and weird. Okay, you've spent the last 10 years setting up things to be cosmic and weird and cool and shit, so pay some of that stuff off. Have the Celestials show up in Endgame to fight Thanos. Have the Cosmic Abstract show up. He should have been in love with Death the entire time, but I'll be lenient and say, well, you did have Cate Blanchett as Hela. You could have just swapped you could have just swapped Mistress Death out for Hela and it would have made perfect sense and it would have fit perfectly within your universe. But nope, none of that. Oh, okay.
All right,
so
Dalton,
are you gonna have...
I'm gonna cut you off because we're gonna go all night if I don't. I just looked at the clock and it's almost 1 a.m. I think we need to call it. And I see that Tox is like, it's late, I'm going to bed. So if Tox is crashing, well, I'm also feeling tired too. So
and I didn't get much sleep last night. So
I didn't get much sleep either, dude.
It's only 11 o'clock here.
Bite me. All right, let's go around the horn. Culture Casino, if you're still there.
I was yawning. Jeez, oh Pete, guys. You know what? Support the EM50 project. It's really important. We need our soldiers to have the very best equipment possible. That's what America needs. It's worked pretty well so far. So strong equipment like the EM50. The stealth assault vehicle. We need more of those. Beyond that, check out the Culture Casino channel on YouTube. Check out the Culture Casino presence on Minds, Twitter, and on Odyssey because, reasons. Other than that, thanks for all of your support. Most of you here, if not all of you here, are subscribed to me, and I do appreciate that. Our great friend Comics Division grants me the privilege of hanging out here twice a week, and I don't take it for granted. But we wouldn't be here without you guys. So just a reminder that we appreciate you. Thank you very much. You guys have a lovely night. Again, peace.
All right, Jed, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on Odyssey, Minds, basically everything. Because Mark even set some stuff up. So yeah, I'm on Minds, Odyssey. We have Pop Culture Archivist on almost everything too. So we don't know if Falball, he's sick. Matt's sick tomorrow, so we don't know if he's gonna have one stream tomorrow. But I will be all over the fandom, and tomorrow Father Christopher, Pop Culture Minefield, Nick's, and if Matt does his on Saturday, it will be Pablo and T-shirt and Pop Culture Minefield. They do that, and then we have our Sunday stream, which I want to try to move it up so I can come over to yours, Culture. So maybe come over there for about an hour or so. But yeah, you can find me all over. And what are you gonna say, Culture?
I said that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna move it up an hour so I can come over there, spend an hour with you guys. So, yeah, you see me all over, and I've been hanging out with Wake Down a lot too. So, and I just want to say thank you to everybody here. There's nothing about you, and I like Culture says, I'm lucky enough to come hang out with Culture and Comics and everybody when they let me come over here, and I love it every week. It's one of my favorite parts of the week. So. Thank you, Culture, and thank you, Comics, and everybody else here.
All right, up next is Tom.
Did you write your new song yet?
Yeah, but I thought you were gonna do a new song, Tom.
I'm working.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Oh, it was the side. Was that your outro?
Yep.
All right. I
forgot what the other song was, but yeah.
That I'm sure surprises nobody who is familiar with Tom. Anyway, hi folks, yeah. I'm Dalton Mortimer. I'm the Authenticator. My channel is called The Authenticator. I'm weird, and I talk about a lot of weird niche things. I talk about magic and the occult. I talk about politics and philosophy. I talk about geek culture. Talk about things that kind of fall into all categories thereof. And I have a bunch of different shows that I do with other people that I actually kind of make more on other people's channels than I do on my own, because Insomnia is a son of a bitch and just robs me of all my creative motivation. Those things include the podcast of the Storm that I do with my friend, the Brainstormer of Pop Culture, every Sunday, where we talk about the intersection of news, politics, and geek shit. I have a new show that I'm now doing with my friend Mr. E over on a new channel he created called The Duality of Man, where we talk about men's rights and men's issues. So if that's of any interest to you, there's plenty of that. I have a lot of miscellaneous.
That's not gonna get memory hold by YouTube.
No,
yeah,
no.
I have a lot of miscellaneous crossover items that I do as well. That gets put into my guest appearances and crossover playlist on my channel. And I have a bunch of my own content, but that never seems to get updated. But there's a fuck ton of it, so go to my channel, subscribe, comment, and watch the backlog of stuff, please. Yeah. Nelson the Gentleman is currently my favorite subscriber on YouTube because he actually did what I asked of him and went back and watched some of my old stuff and commented on it. So give Nelson a run for his money, why don't you? Other than that, you can find me on Twitter at The Authenticator, but spelled without a U because Twitter is stupid and won't give me enough characters. You can find me just about everywhere else on the internet at The Authenticator, where @ symbols are used at any rate. And I'm trying in vain to get something going with Culture Casino, which we're planning on calling Authentic Culture, where we'll both do that intellectual thing we do and deep dive on some stuff. But if he ever makes any attempt to put it in the schedule,
it will happen. Oh my gosh! You know what? Next week, I owe you a video. I owe a lot of stuff. I'm a very in-depth, and so
I'm pretty sure I owe a lot of videos.
shame Culture, and then come subscribe to my channel, because I'm like 8 subscribers away from hitting 150 finally. So that's the thing. Good. And also watch the content, and hopefully I will get around to making more as soon as this insomnia stops kicking my ass, which probably won't be soon, but there's plenty there. And like I said, I do a bunch of other things on other people's channels. Other than that, I will see you all later. Hope to see you over in my neck of the woods, and cheers, guys.
Okay. Yeah. If Matt from Foul Ball is feeling good, and if he doesn't start late, I'll probably be there. But I know that Matt was running really behind last week, and he was getting ready to go live. I'm like, dude, I'm falling asleep. It's like,
Yeah, I told him.
I was like, I'm completely losing
Comics
energy.
can't. He was sleeping, and he's like, okay.
Yeah, I messaged him too as well. It's like, dude, it's like I'm losing. It's like I'm running out of gas. I gotta go sleep. So yeah, it depends on how I feel. Because well, it's 1 o'clock, and odds are I'm gonna get woken up at 6 a.m. By my dog because he's a jackass. And yeah. Anyway, I can only take so much lack of sleep before I'm like completely useless. Which is basically every day. Anyway, folks. Yeah, like I said, if you haven't watched my new video, go check it out where I poke fun at Eric Larson for saying piracy is ruining the comic book industry. It's not.
It's always a fun pastime to make fun of Eric Larson for saying stupid things.
By the way, me pointing out stuff to him got me blocked. I wasn't rude to him, not completely. I didn't call him an asshole or anything.
Too, and I didn't even say anything.
Almost as fun as Neil Adams. Neil Adams is a carnival freak show in and unto himself.
Oh, you know, the sad thing is I saw Neil Adams give a talk, and he was a completely sane individual back then. And then as we all know, TDS kicked in, and now everybody's lost
ruined his brain.
Yeah. Good night, folks.
Koalas. Let there be koalas.